Yeah.
Yeah, let me. Sorry. Come on. I guess it hasn't updated yet on my phone. Yeah, I'll show you some of the other ones.
That Tom doesn't want to do something like this.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of not weird, but it seems unlike him.
Yeah. I feel like he would enjoy doing something like this in this again.
Yeah, there we go. The table in the center. Is that pretty centered too?
Yeah. Should be fine.
Good enough.
And then what? It auto sends out to
YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, I'll show you some of the other ones while we're waiting. YouTube. Hopefully it's signed in on my account, so it's or the pod account. Nice. Your videos. So these ones are like scheduled to be posted later. I guess it might be better if I was not on my account, because now it's in like the editor mode. You know what I mean?
But you can still show it, right?
Yeah.
Still show it, yeah.
All right. Which ones pique your interest, or should we just show the ones with the most views? Dangers of video AI.
So
Amber Heard.
And then AI does this, helps edit it.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I'll show you that too. Basically,
it's free.
You can get a free version. Bruh, I literally just connected this keyboard. What the fuck? Sorry. There is a free thing, but then you run out of time eventually. Ooh, that doesn't look good. I don't want that. You get like a certain amount of time for free, but then after that it's pretty cheap. It's like $1 an hour. So if I put in $20 and get 20 hours each, and say each podcast is 2 to 3 hours, that's at least 6 to 8 podcasts worth of trimming and transcribing. And if I do one podcast a week, that's like a month and a half to $20 every month and a half to 2 months. Dude, why does this not want to connect? Sorry, folks, we're having some technical difficulties. Damn, that was crazy.
I need to look. Yeah, I need 2 beers. I need 2 beers before we start. At least.
Why is this not showing up? Like when I search, it's not. Oh, there we go.
Do you want to drink too?
Fuck! I didn't change the title from the last one. Oops. Oh well, that doesn't matter. Yeah, can I do that? I don't know if I can do it midstream. I thought I changed it. Oh well, it's fine. Dude, why is this fucking keyboard not connecting? That's gonna be annoying as shit. Alright, share. Copy link. Send it in the golf group chat.
Who's your golf group chat?
Or just the one from today.
From today.
For Chong and Z. And I'll send it to this group chat with like Christian, Grady, that sort of squad.
You want to drink too?
Yeah, I'll take a stateside. You get a black cherry one or no? I guess you get one. Perfect. Thank you. Alright, why does this thing not want to goddamn fucking connect?
It's not a battery?
No, I don't think so, because when it was on here, it said it was at like 40%. Still think. Okay, it's not connected to that either. The cons of a low-tech pod setup. Normally I get this all set up like beforehand, so it's not a big deal. This thing does give me issues connecting though sometimes, obviously. Forget this device. Forget device. How are the Ronas? Are they tasting good? They're hitting the spot.
Yeah.
We'll grab more if we need them, obviously.
No, this is 3 to 4, just perfect.
Yeah.
Or I'm not like gonna be like fucking ass while I talk.
It's fine. We can be ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, the AI thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I could ever get this goddamn keyboard connected, it's pretty cool. You like upload the whole video and then it spits back clips of it that are like good for shorts, and it like edits which person is showing on the camera adds subtitles and stuff. And it does a pretty good job of like detecting different topics that you're talking about.
I wonder who the we should call it, the whoever created that software for it. Like, I wonder who it was.
Yeah, I don't know. The company is called Opus AI, I know, or Opus Clip.
They sound really familiar.
Yeah, I wonder if they do any other stuff. They might. Bro, what the fuck? This is so annoying. Alright, we got no viewers, so we're not holding anyone up. Except ourselves.
Yeah, literally.
Maybe it's just because this thing's old. It's fucking buggy. Turn it off and back on. Come on. There we go. This is going to work. I know it. Nice. Alrighty, back to the matter at hand. We'll make this so we can share that. The only bad thing is if you're showing the screen and you talk about something and it tries to clip it up, it like gets weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But not always. I just try to only show the screen when I'm like doing something
Right.
on the screen. Page what? It just found the page a second ago. Let's do this one. Nope, that's not it. Why did it say I could not find the page? That's weird. Alright, there we go. Where are my projects?
Wow, this is really
My
fucking
dashboard.
sick.
Yeah, it's pretty
really cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So like you put in the different podcast episodes, right?
Right.
So I'll go in and then it gives you a title and a clip with, I don't normally use these titles because the titles are kind of very cheesy sometimes. Just like, yeah, and it gives you a title and chops it up. Sometimes it doesn't start at like the perfect start of a topic or the end of a topic.
Right.
So I'll like go in and adjust it, but it does like the majority of the legwork.
Right,
for you.
Let me see some.
You want to
clips.
see one?
Yeah.
Let's see. Is AI the end of coding careers? Oh, here, let me make it bigger. Come on. Oh, I thought it would make it a lot bigger.
No, this works.
Come on, I don't need the fucking tutorial every time. Alright, fuck this.
Who is this one with?
This is with that kid, Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah.
This could be equally as big a change as the internet. Like, think about when the internet came out, there's a bunch of people who were like, yeah, well, we've always done it without it, so we're going to stick that way. Yeah, that's true. And then they're slower to pick up. Because when they first get in and are learning how to use it, actually, then other people have already been doing it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, eventually everything is going to go that way. Yeah. You know? I mean, I think for coding, I don't know, that might be like a death sentence for coders. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I posted this exact one.
Uh-huh.
Because, I don't know, some of them just flow better than others. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But basically, it gives you like, like how many are in this one? Probably 40 something clips.
Yeah.
So then if even only 20% of them are decent, that's still 8 clips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's taking a while. All right, so
That's really cool though. Like I really like that one.
What?
Like I like
that AI thing.
The AI thing, yeah.
Dude, it's kind of crazy how much AI can do, but even without having to be an expert in computers or anything, like easily accessible AIs. You know what I mean? Like there's that video editing thing, ChatGPT. Guess those are the first 2 that come to my mind. But like the Microsoft Copilot thing, like where in Word documents and shit, it'll give you suggestions. Grammarly, which helps like revise your sentences and shit.
Do you actually? Wait, this is a stupid question. Do you do intros during the podcast, like the beginning of a podcast?
Not really. No.
You just go into it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Unless do you want to do an intro?
Because I'm thinking like.
And move that just a little closer to your mouth. They say like a fist away. It's good.
Like this, a fist away. Wait,
I mean, it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be perfect. Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
I was saying like because like I'm thinking of like Joe Rogan podcast and like stuff like that because they're like they do like what I know about Joe Rogan podcast is like he does like 3 hour 4 hours beforehand he invites the person and then they just like chill like they just hang out for like 3-4 hours beforehand like no videos or anything and then he like just gets to know them and then after a while then he'll set up the podcast and then he'll do like the intro and like you know like have like the dude I feel like if you want to like make this legit like really like push that like really get into like the podcasting scene like you have to have like an intro with like music and like have like has like a transition into like who's on the podcast with you who you introducing you know what I mean
no I do know what you mean. Normally it's just me and whoever else bullshitting them. My goal isn't necessarily to like make this like the next big podcast or whatever. I wouldn't even say that's not necessarily my goal. I would say that's not my goal. But it started just because when I was at school with my friend, it was a Saturday and we were like, what should we do today? And we were like, I don't know. Because like half of our friends or all of our friends were going to this like Halloween thing, but we were like, we didn't really feel like going. We were like, we'll just do our own thing. Mm-hmm. So then we decided to do the Blossom Pod, which because that was the name of my house at school, Blossom House, because it was on like Blossom Street.
Yeah.
But we just like hung out and chilled and live streamed it. That we got a lot more viewers because we just did it on like Instagram Live. So like a bunch of random people would just chime in and say shit. Dude, yeah, and it was fun. We were just like hanging out on the roof with the phone up, like vibing. We were like, this is fun. We should do it again. And then we got more into the setup with like the streaming thing.
Right.
We didn't have a mic at first either. It was just the laptop mic. Like dude, this is a really nice setup.
No, I'm actually surprised. Like you did really well
compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, like this looks good. Like this is like adding this like all these small details that you did is really good.
Yeah, I think the mic boxes make it look legit because especially in like the shorts when it's like zoomed in on someone, they can see it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Due to my extremely low quality camera, you can't even really read it in the full screen.
Dude, it's just like I think like. When I also thought about
got Ziad in the chat excited for the pod boys.
He already said excited.
Thanks for tuning in, man. If you have any questions or comments or anything,
did you text me?
Yeah, I texted in the group chat.
Oh really? Yeah.
If you have any comments or questions or things you want us to talk about, Z, drop them throughout the chat. Dude, yeah, let me show you some of the fucking first Blossom Pod videos. They were fucking so low quality.
Dude,
compared
I
to,
think that's so funny that you like. Because I was thinking about doing a podcast too. Like I was like,
dude, you should.
I was gonna do it with my roommate because we were thinking about like, oh, like what's a good thing that people would enjoy like listening to, or like something that people would find informative at least. And I thought like a college experience, like the life of like living as like someone as like getting into college, like the process of getting into college, like how to go through like doing that stuff is like really important. So I was like, maybe we should start something so it could help people understand like what we went through, you know.
That's a good idea. Like talk to other college kids and see what they learned and what they would do differently or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like cuz I think there was a lot of things that we did as like as high schoolers that we probably could have done better to like get into a better college or like just like experiencing college too, because we came at a weird time. To be fair.
We did come at a weird time.
Yeah.
Because COVID had just happened.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Schools were like trying to learn how to
Yeah. That's what
work
I'm saying.
around a hybrid online, not online classes, but
I think
they didn't
we
really.
should talk about that after this because I want to see. I do want to see like the
The original
the
ones.
original
Yeah.
OG like old ass like shitty
Let me
shitty camera quality.
dude, oh yeah, you think this is bad camera quality. Also the viewers thing is off, which is annoying sometimes. Like sometimes it'll say like when I go to participants it
Right.
says Z is in here, and I think he probably is in here, but it says 0 viewers in the
Right.
corner. So
Yeah.
and other times it'll say like 8 viewers and you go in and there's like 3.
No.
So
Yeah.
you never know what to believe with this
Yeah.
guy. But I started doing like where the screen our picture is in the middle, because then when it does a short
Right.
with the screen share, it's not as funky.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, let's check out some of these.
Dude, I wanna see the
Dude, we
whole-
were like in the fucking grimy basement of the house. It was such a different setup than this. We'll go to one of the very first ones. Blast Pod number 4. We didn't even stream because the first 3 were on Instagram. That's crazy. Fast forward. I think this might have been the one. I think this is the one. The Indian kid on the right tries to fit as many Jolly Ranchers in his mouth as he could. I think we were talking about like how many 8-year-olds could you take or something. How many?
That's so
How many
ass.
8-year-olds until you got fucked?
That
up?
is so ass.
All right, where's? It's audio's not as bad as I
It's
would
actually
think.
not that bad. Yeah, like it's not a bad setup.
I want to
And
see.
if anything, the camera quality isn't even that bad either. Like
No,
it's
it
just like,
wasn't.
Yeah, it's just like a normal computer camera setup too.
Yeah, it's not like notoriously bad camera quality, but it's definitely not great.
Yeah, right.
Where's the one? I want to see the one where he fucking.
Tries to shove.
I think it was the
50
last
Jolly-
episode.
the
It,
Jolly
it had to
Ranchers.
be. Yeah, how many do you think he gets?
How many Jolly Ranchers?
Yeah, can he fit in his mouth? How many do you think we'll get?
I think it has to be like 12.
12?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. We were like unwrapping them and handing them to him. We were just like drink and smoke and eat Jolly Ranchers.
Oh, you got. How far did he get up to?
Whoa. He got up to a lot. He got up to 28.
Holy shit!
There's at one point where I really wish we had the mic because he makes like a crazy noise. He's like, look at his
He's like choking on his spit.
No, this is fun too because we had people like interacting in the chat. I think we had like 8 people in there at one point, and we
Yeah.
were saying like, wait, I think that might have been the noise. Right before we freak out, there's like a crazy noise he makes. This is when I wish we had the mic because it would be clear.
Dude,
But-
that's what I'm saying. Like, if we had a mic, you can hear
Yeah.
everything.
But we were telling people like guess how many he would get,
Right.
and Grady guessed 28. We were like whoever gets the closest, like we'll each Venmo you like $5 or something.
Oh, really?
Grady got the closest, yeah.
You want 28? Come on, Grady at 28.
Fuck. Fuck. You can't really.
I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. Dude.
Alright, turn that.
Dude, I here. You should have this.
Dude, that is so ass.
But yeah, that was the type of quality we were talking about
No,
with
it's
the
kinda-
first one.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, those were the best one of those, the highest quality. I convinced my other friends to start doing a podcast. Well, I guess I didn't necessarily convince them. I think they were inspired. I would like to think, because after that they were like, you know what? Like, I think me and David are going to start a podcast. We were like, fuck yeah.
Oh shit! Wait, that setup's nice. Like,
Yeah,
the mics
right?
and everything too.
We like did it outside on our
Yeah.
front porch. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. That's the vibes. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, I don't think my goal with this isn't necessarily to like make it like the big like next podcast or whatever. I think
Right.
it's fun. I think there's a lot of other benefits that come from it. Like, one, it's enjoyable to do, to just sit
Yeah,
down
it's true.
and talk, and you like get new ideas. Like, me and Drew have both been training for this marathon together, so we've done a
That's
bunch
really-
and like talking about it, and
Yeah.
what each other learns is
Right.
definitely valuable. It practices your speaking skills in terms of just like speaking concisely, and even though there's not really any pressure of being on the spot here, like
Yeah.
having a mic in front of you and
It's-
trying to
yeah, it's
articulate
still-
your words
exactly,
in a good
yeah.
way.
I
Yeah.
think that's like probably one of the most important things to do. I think like a lot of times I get nervous too. Like whenever
Yeah.
there's something in front, like it can be any type of pressure. Like it's,
Totally.
it's tough to do.
Yeah.
It's not hard. I mean,
Exactly.
it's not easy.
Yeah, and if it's just like reps of
Yeah.
doing it, then that skill is never gonna hurt.
Yeah,
you know
exactly,
what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's one of the toughest things I had too. Like I had a really tough time like trying to like speak concisely.
Yeah,
I can speak. I always like add filler words. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
It's kinda,
totally.
like,
always
always
like
add some bullshit. Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
kind of yeah.
It's so stupid, but like I think like stuff like this actually really does help though.
Yeah, totally. Especially when you hear it back afterwards, because then you're really thinking like, damn, I was mumbling around
Yeah, exactly.
like an idiot at that point, or
Yeah.
not totally mumbling around like an idiot, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Not
I know,
like
I know.
speaking in a clear and concise way.
I
Lot.
just like, cause for me, right? Like I always think like, I don't know. This is my mindset. Like if I was to do like if I were to create my own podcast, right, and I was to do something like this, the thing is like, it's like you did the step of like actually committing and doing something like this, right? But I'm like curious about, would you want to add more to it? Like, would you want to like? I know you said that it's more like obviously there's like good things that come out of it, like dialogue and like being able to speak more concisely. But like, what about like if you wanted to reach a certain audience, or you wanted to like have like viewers so that actually like will like would listen and like
Yeah.
and like have you thought about strategy and stuff like that? Like, cause like
I haven't really looked at it from like this, or looked at this from a consulting case competition
Right.
type standpoint of like fully analyzing it, but I'm not sure necessarily that I wanna, because I definitely could like pick a niche and try to stick with that,
yeah,
but I don't think I necessarily want to do that, because then I feel like I'm trapped in that box
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
Like if I'm like, oh, well, this is supposed to be like a fitness
right.
podcast
Yeah.
or whatever, then like I feel
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I
Trapped in
like
that
the
box.
fact that it's like just open dialogue. Anyways, like you're just talking
Yeah.
with friends. I was just being more of like the fact of like you're just like the niche is like that. It's just like us just talking and just like chilling
hanging
out.
out. Yeah.
And but like I was more thinking about like if you wanted like I'm thinking in the mindset like, oh, like I'm gonna post a short on TikTok, but the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna obviously you take pieces of like us you were showing before, like pieces of the clips from the podcast, right, and then post it out there and hope something hits, right, and then but like I guess the question is more like, do you want more people to see, like do you want this to have like reach an audience outside of just our friends?
The
and stuff?
friends. Yeah, I would say yes, but I'm not in necessarily a big rush to get there. It's
Right.
not like I like want to have like 10,000 subscribers by the end of next year or whatever timeline would be appropriate
Right.
for that. My mindset is there's good things that come from it. Mainly, it's fun to do.
Yeah.
Practice talking clearly and concisely
Yeah. Right.
with a mic in front of your face. It is fun, like going through the videos and posting them and shit.
Yeah.
And seeing the funny clips. And the fourth thing is hopefully, in theory, some audience develops over time and
It's just
whatever, like it'll never be a bad, it'll always be an asset to have an audience. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying this will get like a big audience, but it would never be a bad thing
Yeah, that's true.
to have an audience, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether I try to start a business or want to dive fully into this
Right.
or want to switch careers and say, look, like I can do things. I have 50,000 subscribers on this account that I just do for fun.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly,
mean?
yeah.
Like
Exactly. Yeah.
it'll
That's
it'll
fair.
never be anything but helpful.
Yeah.
you know?
Right. That's
So if I can
that's a
do
good
it
way to
now and
it.
enjoy it and do it for 5 and 10 years and see
Yeah.
what happens and
Yeah, that's a good mindset to have, honestly.
and this will be the last thing I'll say about it. Worst comes to worst, I do it for a couple of years, 5, 10 years, whatever, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, like I think it's gone through its life cycle.
Yeah,
It's time to
right.
put it down. Then I've got like years of footage to look back on.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
I'm like
exactly.
60, I can look back on these videos of us hanging
Yeah.
out and be like, damn, look how young we were. You know what I mean?
That's true, actually. Yeah, I didn't think about like that's a good mindset to have. I wouldn't have thought of it that way. That's a good.
I didn't at first either until
Yeah.
I saw one of like the older clips, like one of the Blossom Pod ones, and I was like, wow, that was a while ago. Like,
Yeah.
that's cool to have this video. And I was like, wait,
Yeah.
I'm going to have like years
Years
of
of it, yeah.
videos like this.
Exactly. Yeah. Nah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, that's true. I,
Yeah.
I don't mean to like monetize it, but I just
Oh,
more
no,
like, It's just
totally.
more like it's like just thoughts.
Yeah.
Like just like thinking about like what ways. I don't know.
No, I know you have that mindset. You're like, how can we optimize this situation to
Exactly. Yeah.
get towards the end goal?
Yeah. Yeah. that's-
And
yeah,
you're just
that's
curious
exactly-
about what the end goal
Yeah.
is necessarily.
Yeah,
It does
pretty
feel
much.
weird though because there's not really an end goal.
No, this is
You know what I
honestly
mean?
if as long as you like, as long as there's an enjoyment out of it, like that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like
long
I'd
as
rather
you-
be doing this on a Saturday night than sitting alone
That's
doing
true.
whatever.
That's true. That's true.
Not that I mean I do enjoy sitting alone and doing whatever stuff I do when I'm alone, but
Yeah, that's true.
you know what I mean? It's fun to chill and talk.
Tell me about work. Like, tell me
Tell me
about
about work.
Yeah, tell me about how
I
your
wanna hear
work's been
about it.
going.
Could
'Cause
I,
wanna,
could I hit the Nick possibly?
Yeah, because I want to know what's been. I want to know what's been going on at work for you. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm actually curious because I've been talking to Max,
Mhm.
and Max obviously works at the DoD.
Yeah.
So
what,
he's like
what is it? AFR,
something like
some like
that. It's
Air
like-
Force research laboratory
Yeah,
type
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so like I was just curious, like,
Why? What is he saying?
well, his is sick.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
his is,
yeah.
like, I just think it's so cool.
What does he work on?
Because he works at the Air Force. He's just like he's pretty much what he can tell is like confidentiality wise. It's like he's telling he's like seeing people like it's seeing people go off in planes. He has F-14s in his office. He works in a hangar.
Yeah,
He's like
that's pretty cool.
yeah. He's like and he's like apparently like they like dropped a bomb or something like that. I don't know.
I'm sure they did.
Something
yeah.
like that.
I went to this like conference, the same conference I actually got my job at, and the company or like the government group that he works for was at that conference,
really?
and they were talking. They had like an event that I went to, and they were talking about, it, and it did seem really cool. It's definitely very like research based,
Yeah. Right.
experimental, trying to work on new stuff.
Yeah.
My work, I wouldn't say is boring, but it is definitely on less like sexy tech aircrafts. I work on Chinooks, so
I'm actually really curious about this because I feel like I don't see a lot of I don't like meet a lot of like people that are like in this field,
yeah, totally.
And it's like I'm not gonna lie, I was just like when you said that you got hired at Boeing, I was like what are you like I'm like I was just genuinely just curious what you're doing now.
Yeah, so basically I work on this helicopter. It's pretty cool. It's a cargo helicopter.
Right. And it's just this specific one.
Just this. Well, yeah, they make this in Philadelphia at the site that I work at.
Right.
So like the whole shop is this, and that's why I work on it, obviously. But basically my job, I'm a design engineer, so for example, each of these is slightly different. Think about it like a car in that sense. Like each year-to-year model is different. These don't come out every year, but each model is different. But also, if you're getting top-of-the-line cars like a Lambo or a Ferrari or whatever, which is what military aircraft are essentially, then they get customized a little bit each time. So I'm working on this one program. I'm hesitant to say I don't have a clearance, but there's like I did have to sign an NDA and things are like proprietary information. Yeah. So I'm not going to say anything. Actually, this is known. It's Germany. Germany's getting 60 of these.
Right.
And
I was curious about how much it costs for each.
Yeah, each one is about 60 million.
60 million.
Yeah, and Germany just bought 60 of them.
Was that $360 billion? No, 3.6 billion. No.
60 times 60 is.
Oh, he bought 60. Oh, yes.
Yeah, they bought 60 million.
So 3.6 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And some of them. This goes for all like defense companies. They can sell stuff straight to other countries, but only specific countries. Those are called direct commercial sales. And then there's foreign military sales, which goes through our military. So essentially we sell it to the government and then they sell it to the other companies for profit. And which is what the one I'm working on is. But the only ones we can do direct commercial sales with are Japan, Canada, Australia, Singapore. What else? I know there's other ones. Japan, Singapore, South Korea, Canada, Australia. I want to say there's two more. England. And India. I want to say India. But I'm not sure. I can't.
Probably all UN related. So.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, all UN related. So.
Yeah.
That's crazy though,
But yeah, my job isn't as exciting as Max's. Like, for example, I work in structures, so it's like the airframe of the ship, and Germany's getting these machine guns. They're getting like 3 machine guns throughout the helicopter.
Right.
So, because now there's way more load, like those big machine guns are heavy as fuck, and they vibrate a bunch. So now you need to redo the floor supports to make sure the helicopter can withstand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff gets shifted around a little. Like there's little gaps here and there because it kind of is like Legos in the sense that they can plug and play, but then you just have to make pieces to adjust for those changes.
Makes sense.
It's not super interesting though.
No, I mean that's still sick. Like, how often do you get the chance to like work on something like that in your life? Like, for anybody, you know what I mean? Like, it's like such a surreal experience. I don't know. I'm just curious, just because of the fact that like, I don't know, it's the military. Like, it's and you're working at Boeing. Like, to be fair, it's like one of the most controversial companies right now. Yeah. But they still are making like.
They're just an iconic company.
End over end revenue.
Well, they're not.
Are they? Oh wait, no. They're in a deficit, right?
They're $60 billion in debt.
Yeah.
And the strike is going on. It's been coming on 7 weeks now. So.
Yeah, right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot that they had that huge. They're in the red.
Yeah, they're big in the red. There was like a couple things that happened that, like the strike. A lot of people think it was just because of the strike, but the strike was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I don't know if you remember in 2014 there was 2 planes that crashed, 2 like Boeing 777s, the commercial planes that crashed.
Was the one the Malaysia flight?
It wasn't the Malaysia flight.
Which one was it?
There was one in, I want to say either Egypt or Ethiopia, and I can't remember where the other one was. But basically what happened. And this was a big fuck up for sure. They put on this new system where.
Oh, I heard about this.
The nose diving thing. Yeah. Basically, if you're not cruising at the ideal speed, you can drop down and you'll pick up speed and then gradually go back up. but
It was an automated system.
it was
right?
an automated
Yeah.
system, but they implemented it in a way where they didn't have to get the whole aircraft recertified. It was
Right.
a new feature, not it was like a new functionality, not
like a software
new
update?
feature. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a software update essentially. And because it was classified as that type of change and not another type of change,
Right.
it doesn't need to go through the whole registration and verification process again, which takes time and money.
Mhm.
However, that also means that it's not under the category of changes that the pilots get informed of. Like, they only get informed of certain changes if they're in this category, because the pilot doesn't need to know if they changed the material of the carpets. You know what I mean?
Right,
Shit like
right,
that.
right.
And this change was wrongly put into the category that pilots don't need to know about.
Right.
And there were several pilots who noticed it as they were flying, like, oh, it's auto-correcting down.
Right.
And they learned how to, like, work around it.
Uh-huh.
But then new pilots would come on after, and not all pilots are equal skill
Yeah,
capability.
exactly. Yeah.
And, yeah, the plane would nosedive, or it wouldn't even nosedive. It would start going down to pick up speed with the intention of going back up.
Right.
But these pilots didn't know why it was going down, so they would pull up on it, which would cause the speed to slow down, because if you just, like, go down and up a little, it causes you to lose speed. You need to, like, go down to a point where you're gaining speed.
Yeah,
and
right.
then
It's like
go
a
back
momentum
up.
thing.
Yeah, it's like a momentum thing. So they would pull up and they would slow down. So then the plane thinks it needs to go down, and then they would pull up again. So it slows, and they think they need to go
Right.
down, and that just happened.
Holy
until the
shit!
plane
That's why the
crashed.
that's
Yeah.
that's.
So that was
crazy.
the first thing.
Yeah.
Then comes along the stuff later with the door plugs.
That was more
and
recent though.
That
wasn't
that
it?
was more recent,
Yeah.
and there was one other major thing in between there. I think one of their new planes that they were, like, gonna roll out, like a brand new commercial plane, didn't get through the FAA inspection process for whatever reason.
Really.
But they'd already dumped tens of billions of dollars
Right.
into it with the planning that it would. So then
Yeah,
they ate a
right.
bunch of money there. And then the strike happened, which what they built in Seattle is the bread and butter, the most profitable part of the Boeing company. So at that point, that was, like, really where they were like, all right, we need to
Get our
tighten
shit
up the
together.
waistband. They fired the CEO, got a new guy.
Yeah, because that CEO did it. Like, the CEO was the one that was at the was at Congress, right? Or the one that got fired.
Dave Calhoun.
Yeah, Dave Calhoun. Yeah, he was the one that got fired, right, dude? He did such a bad job
Yeah,
of
dude.
trying to, like,
Justify
some of the shit
Yeah.
that was going on.
Because it is true. Like, and I really hope, I don't tell anyone at work about this podcast because I don't want them to, because a lot of times we're like, especially with Mark, like, we'll just come on and rip the pen and talk about aliens
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
It's like, I don't want them to see that. And I definitely don't want them to hear what I'm about to say. But, like, Boeing definitely did make some mistakes and try to cut some corners
Yeah, of
to
course,
save
yeah.
money and
Yeah,
make an extra couple billion.
yeah.
But a lot of projects, I really don't know how much of this I should be saying.
It does, honestly, like,
I guess it's fine. It's
not-
all
not-
public
yeah, it's all
information.
it's all gonna be public information,
Um,
anyways.
But BDS, which is, so there's BCA, Boeing Commercial Airplanes, BDS, Boeing Defense, Space and Security,
Mhm.
and then BGS, which is Boeing Global Services. That's more like satellites, that sort of thing.
Right.
But BDS, Defense, Space, Security, loses money on so many contracts. And you keep thinking, like, how can a company lose, like, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars on a contract and stay afloat? But they somehow do. They just, like, stay in the red, and because they're such a well-known company, they can keep getting
Right.
contracts, which kind of doesn't fully make sense to me. But, like, they keep getting
Yeah.
these contracts even though they do it over
Why?
cost. Well, because a lot of them are, like, fixed price contracts where the government pays the same either way.
Yeah.
Boeing either says they're going to get it done way quicker than they do, which reduces the total cost because
Right.
of just engineering hours and all the other stuff, or they make mistakes in their manufacturing that sets them back and costs them money.
Right.
But yeah, and also I think part of it is too, like, they don't make a lot of money in terms of the percentage that it costs them. Like, if it costs them X amount, they might only make a 1%, 2%, 3% profit on it.
Right.
But when you're making 3% profit on a $3.6 billion contract
Yeah.
that pays out, but it's easy to go over that. Like, it's not a big margin of
Yeah,
error.
exactly,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So if shit goes wrong, like, everything is just so damn expensive. You know what I mean? The development is so expensive because it's got to be right. It can't be wrong. And
That's kind of crazy.
it's got to be made perfect. Yeah.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So now that I mean, I guess it's more like, I mean, this is all public information, so it's kind of like you already know about, but you're like kind of like in the like you're in the woods with it, you know?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, I mean, you're in the field with it, so you're like, you're working there. I mean, how do you feel? I mean, I don't know. Like, is this like obvious? I know you were talking about before, but Boeing isn't like a long-term thing, is it?
I don't think so. I mean, I kind of knew like halfway through school I didn't really want to do engineering. I just kind of chose it because like I was good at math. It seemed like something.
Right.
And like I like building stuff, so I thought engineering. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
'cause you don't really know what you don't really know what anything in real life is like when you're a freshman in college
I
picking
know.
what you're gonna do. And then by the time I realized like I don't know if I want to do this, I'm already halfway through my junior year. I'm not gonna change my major and restart and pay another how many tens of thousands of dollars in tuition to do something different. And it's not like I came to this epiphany, oh, I want to do this instead. It was like, I don't know if I want to do this. But then I got this job offer and I was like, okay, this is too good of a job offer to turn down. You know what I mean?
It pays, to be fair, like
Pays-
it's paid good. It pays good money. It's
yeah.
an engineering job. You're not gonna get something
and I'm
like
living
that
here
all-
with my parents, like free rent,
Dude,
free food.
you're gonna
like,
be fucking.
yeah,
You're gonna
yeah.
be loaded at the
Okay,
end of
yeah.
whatever, however long you're thinking of staying.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I was trying to really nail down why I don't really like it. Not engineering necessarily, but this job in particular.
Yeah.
And I think like I really like working with other people. Like there's a problem and work together, spitting out different ideas. Like, oh, let's try this. That didn't quite work. Let's try something else. Like working with other people, which I don't really get to do. Like I get handed a task sheet basically that says do exactly this. And yes, I talk to other people in the sense of like talk to the manufacturing people like what kind of fastener should I use here, and talk to the tooling people like, oh, what kind of tool do you guys use to install this? But it's not like collaborative.
Yeah,
you
but
know
that's
what I
still
mean?
fun though. Like that's why you enjoyed it, right? Because it was like.
Well, I wouldn't say I even
Oh.
necessarily. I would say I don't really enjoy because I don't get. I like collaborating with other people, which I don't really get
like,
to
that's,
do.
Yeah, that's the good part, isn't it? About being able to do it with other people. But
Well, that's the thing is I don't get to do it really with other people. Like
here at Boeing now.
Yeah,
or,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I get
you missed that aspect of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think I like seeing the problem like as a whole.
Right.
Like see what the problem is, try to come up with a solution, implement the solution. Whereas here, like, I don't really see the problem. I mean, I know what the problem is because I get told what the problem is by some guy above me, and
but
then,
it's like blacked out. Like,
it's blacked out. I just get told like do this
the
one
specific parts,
little thing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe and I'm definitely still gonna give it time because
makes sense.
I don't want to knock it right away. But
I mean, obviously, you've only been there for like what 2 months.
Yeah, 3 months at this
3
point, a
months,
little over 3 months. But like definitely I'm gonna stay at least a year, probably more. But that's in my head. Like give it at least a year. Don't and I feel like I'm trying to think of what's a good amount to have on my resume. Because I feel like having Boeing on my resume will give me credibility.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But I don't know how, like, if they see just a year and then it's like.
Have you started up a LinkedIn and done like the whole LinkedIn shit?
I do have a LinkedIn, yeah.
You know, what do they call those people that LinkedIn warriors?
Yeah.
Like you should become a LinkedIn warrior.
Yeah.
To get this chops down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
I think that's what I'm gonna do. Do you want another?
Yeah, I got another. Yeah.
I was peeking around on LinkedIn the other night, but I'm not in a super big rush yet because I don't want to engage in something for a job and then they say it works out and they say, oh yeah, we'd love to hire you, and then I'm like, oh wait, I still want to work at this job for 9 more months. You know, you're fine. You can leave it.
No, I just feel bad.
You're good, dude. I'll clean up later. But speaking of different job things. Did I tell you about the drone stuff at all? Hover
You have to
Safe?
tell me about that. No,
Yeah.
I wanna like you. I know you did the certificate and everything, so I wanna know.
Oh yeah.
So I
Okay,
wanna-
so those are like two separate drone things.
Okay, so what's the one thing?
The one thing is I was gonna try to get into like real estate drone photography, and I think I still will do that, but that's kind of on the back burner for now because I was talking to my friend's dad at we had like an alumni weekend at school, and like a bunch of us went down. I was
Right.
talking to my friend's dad. He's working with this startup called Hover Safe, and the company Hover Safe itself is brand new. They just started working on it in like June or July. Their goal is 3.5 million in fundraising by the end of the year, and they already have like 500,000 to 700,000.
Did they get it through like how'd they get it through, like grants or seed funding?
Seed funding.
Seed funding.
But this is like a spin-off company of a bigger company that had already been existing called Safe Helipad. So it was
Okay.
these two guys, Michael and Marty. They were both Marine One pilots, like the helicopter for Obama. One of them went on to be the director of the liaison office, like coordinating all
Right.
the president's trips. And they realized that the system for helipad, like tracking whether they were available or not, maintenance for them, training, like everything was so outdated and done by hand. So essentially they made this software that they, can sell to government agencies, companies that operate a lot of helipads like Shell with
Yeah.
their oil rigs, stuff like that. And it basically helps manage their helipads in like it's much higher tech, seamless, all in one spot type of way.
Right.
But now they just started this company called Hover Safe, which is basically trying to think of the best way to describe it. So everyone kind of knows that drones are going to be the future in the sense of eventually there's going to be drones
Oh yeah.
delivering packages, medical supplies to hospitals, emergency supplies in
Yeah.
hurricane disaster relief,
And
stuff
it's already,
like
we already
that.
see it now. It's already been. It's already like
Yeah.
stuff that they're doing now.
Yeah, stuff's like getting started now,
Yeah.
but there's not really a good infrastructure for it. There's not clear regulations.
Yeah.
There's not good ways for companies or
A lot
local
like
government
AI.
townships to manage it. Yeah, so essentially they use that same base software that they had for Safe Helipad,
Mm-hmm.
transferred it, tweaked it a little for Hover Safe, and it's in the super early stages, but essentially it'll be a way for anyone who operates a drone or a fleet of drones to be able to plot out their routes and map, because there's a lot of restricted airspace in the country, like a lot. Like my house is in airspace, your house might be in some
Yeah, probably.
random airspace. Just from like there's so many more small airports than we realize. Like Wings Field is a Class D airspace that
Right.
technically you're not allowed to fly a drone in. So basically it would help map out all the routes for drones. They want to get into actual hardware of it where they can go to people's houses and give them a helipad with solar panels on the roof
Well,
and
that's
say,
insane.
yeah, and give them a
Yeah.
helipad with solar panels. The solar panels will charge the helipad. So and that's another thing with drones
Yeah.
is none of them have that far battery life, because the stronger of a battery you have, the heavier the drone is, which means it needs more battery to operate,
Yeah.
which means you need a larger battery. So you kind of get into this like,
It's cyclical.
it's
Yeah.
cyclical where you get like there's an optimum size battery,
Mhm.
but you can't fly commercial drones. At least I'm sure the government has some sort of
Right.
crazy shit, but you can't fly more than like an hour, maybe 2 hours. But if it's doing a delivery from Virginia at a FEMA headquarters and they're sending supplies down to Florida, they're going to need spots to stop along the way.
Right. Yeah.
So their idea is have these helipads on residential roofs, roofs of apartment building, commercial roofs that have a lot of space.
Right.
Have these helipads where these drones can come down and charge. They're powered by the solar panels. Whatever extra energy from the solar panels is generated goes back to the resident, the commercial owner of whatever that property is, and they can sell that energy back to Pico or whatever other energy company. And those will all be incorporated into the software of, the drones can stop at these spots and recharge and
Are
all
you-
that sort of shit.
So what is this something you're getting involved in? Or
Something
is
I'm trying to get involved in. I had
Yeah.
a talk. So I talked with his dad about it at alumni weekend, and then I hopped on a Zoom call with him the other day, and he talked to me for like an hour and a half and showed me the product and everything.
right?
And he was like, yeah, if you have any ideas about anything, like, we always want to hear an outside perspective.
Right.
And I followed up with him this week. I'm going to try to do a call with Michael, like the main guy of it. But I think that would be ideal to get involved in that
Oh,
in
yeah.
some way, shape,
Yeah,
or
that'd be
form.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So is that the reason you got your certificate, or like what's
No,
so
I got
what's
the
second part?
certificate because of I wanted to get into real estate
The real estate
drone
droning.
pictures.
Right.
But that kind of went on the back burner. One, because of, well, I've just had shit going on. Like the marathon training takes up a bunch of time. And also right around that time is when I started talking to Tanner, my friend Tanner's dad. And I've been trying to do, what I want to do is have a bunch of ideas and like actual work done for the next time I talk to him, and be like, hey, like this is what I've been working on, just a few thoughts, like completely unpaid, and then
Right.
hopefully they'll like be like, oh, like, well, if you could do this side or the other thing, that would be great. And then hopefully I can work with them for free while I'm still working at Boeing, getting stuff on my resume, and then in a year or however long when I want to make a switch, is that, hey, like,
Yeah, you guys-
can I
you
come
have-
on
you have
full
an- You have
time?
an opening, yeah, or you like, you know, like, yeah.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
connection in,
And
get
they're
that in.
based in the South anyway, so
It's
I think that
perfect.
could be like a good transition. And like Boeing helicopters, drone infrastructure, it's like,
Did they
in
talk
the
about how
same
fast they
sphere.
got that seed funding?
I know they started in June or July, and they already have like 500 to 700K.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's legit. You know what I mean?
No, I mean,
It's
no,
not
I mean,
like,
yeah, I know. I mean, that's really like, that's, I mean, obviously that's really fast. Having early startups is hard to get money for.
Yeah,
It's kind of-
totally.
It's just interesting to hear.
Yeah.
So that's the reason you're getting into like, that's why you were mentioning drones and you were.
Well,
mentioning
that was
the
actually
golf
just
thing.
kind of a coincidence. Like,
Oh,
I
that
got
you
into
you
the
got
drone
the
stuff
survey,
before,
and
yeah,
you
and
just-
then
So you had
and then I
knowledge
found
before.
yeah, exactly,
So
yeah,
it's
and then
good
it
for the
worked out. I was
interview.
talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, like, and there was like some shit. He was like, oh, what's that thing called? I was like, it's called a NOTAM, or like notice to airman
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. Just like random shit. He was like, man, you really know his stuff, and I was like,
I had to.
thanks. yeah. So it did work out. But I think I still am gonna try to do that once I am done training with this marathon. I also want to figure out because I want to. Obviously, I know how to fly the drone, and I can get good pictures and videos of the outside. But I want to be able to get like videos of the interior of a house, to where like the drone flies around and it looks almost as if you're walking through the house. Because then I could charge a lot more for that.
Yeah.
But that's hard, and I've flown it throughout my house a couple times, but it's tough to get the right angles and move it at the right speed constantly for like a 5-minute video. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie though. Not to put down the idea. It's just more the fact that like, I think like real estate droning, like people already kind of do that, like in the sense of like they do ads of like
Yeah.
droning through the house.
Yeah,
And I think
they do, but
yeah.
I've thought about that. But just because there is people that do it now doesn't mean
Yeah.
you can't throw my hat in that ring.
No,
you know what I
absolutely
mean?
not. No,
yeah.
no. I think it's still a great idea. I
Yeah.
was just thinking like, as someone, if I was a person that wanted to buy a house, right, I would always want to be there in person. And obviously
Yeah,
those
yeah.
previews and like those things are really important.
Yeah,
I just like I don't know.
yeah, I agree.
Just, like,
Definitely
just,
would
like,
see it in person.
I
yeah.
just want to see like what the counter would be like. So what's the general idea of it? What's the general idea of the business?
Of that business,
Yeah.
that would just be drone real estate photography, exterior and interior. It's nothing like fancy or crazy, but you could charge. I know a guy who does it in Seattle, and talked to him. He said he charges up to like $1,000 a house, and he gets it.
Oh,
so if I
wow.
could do that and do 3 or 4 houses a month, that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's good.
really
revenue.
good
Yeah,
money.
It's really
Yeah.
good money coming
Yeah.
in, especially for yourself. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah.
it'd be a nice side gig to have, and that would work on like sales skills, cold calling people.
Yeah, I know
so.
exactly.
But yeah, I was looking around on Zillow just to see like, okay, how many houses really do have drone stuff, and almost none of them do.
Yeah, no,
like,
you
like,
won't find any.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So if I could just do even just exterior pictures, maybe I should just start with that.
Exterior would be. No, honestly, I think going straight for interior.
Yeah,
is best.
right. Yeah, if I
Like
could.
that's what I think.
Yeah,
honestly, yeah.
So I got to figure out how to get like good shots throughout a house, because when you go inside, like the camera, you can't really switch between like a close, not even like a close zoom shot, but like a normal frame shot versus a wide panoramic type shot while you're in a video.
Actually, that's a really good idea, because there aren't all those like advertisements for the droning work inside a house. They're all luxury homes.
Yeah.
So you're thinking of like modern like apartment complexes.
anything.
Doesn't matter anything, right?
Totally.
It's not bad.
Totally.
Yeah, so that would work definitely.
Yeah. It's just like a side thought.
How about
you? Have you had any business ideas
wait, hold on,
recently?
I gotta whip some out.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
I think you would enjoy some of them.
Let's hear it.
All right, let's see.
Do you want to hit this pen at all or no?
No, I'm
You'll
good.
be
I'm good. Yeah, it's all you, bro.
I'm trying to decide if I want to.
It'll be fun. All right, I told you this one already.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And it's already, but the thing is like I don't know if I want to talk about it because I'm already working on it, but.
It'll be fine. No one sees these videos. Unless you don't want to talk about them.
No, I don't really
Can I first
All right,
smack that one more time? Is that cool?
Smack it as much as you want.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. All right. The first one was the one that I had was this is all shit I think of while I'm at work. Like,
Really?
it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just I just
Just
sit
what
there.
comes through your
I,
head.
like,
Yeah.
All right. The one that I had, obviously, the one I told you was the one that's like an app that can transcribe conversations during meetings.
Yeah.
And then it'll create like pretty much a short form document. A memo of like all the important shit that was discussed. I think like that's so essential though. Like in a corporate field or a corporate setting, like there's so many people that are just like, we just want to know what happened. Make it short and concise and easy that I can read within like one email page.
Yeah.
And that's like.
Do you think there's nothing like that out there now? Have you looked into that?
I
That's the one you're working on?
There is one. It's called Otter AI.
Is that just a little closer?
Oh, sorry.
No, you don't have to be. I just.
There's a place called Otter AI, and Otter AI uses.
You can adjust it down too if you
just
need to.
did the same thing. Yeah. This is nice too. How much was this?
That one was like $20.
Oh,
I've been going cheap on everything because I don't. Like I said, if the goal isn't like I'm gonna get as big as I can, as quick as possible, just for fun. Like these mics were $50 a pop.
Yeah.
$20 a pop for those.
No, this is nice.
I need another adapter. I got these like USB extenders, so that I've already put like a couple $100 into it. So that's especially why I'm hesitant to like
drop
another
500
on
for camera
yeah.
would be insane.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah. So there's Otter.
So it's called Otter AI. It uses like it does the same thing. It's transcribing. Uses AI to like transcribe your conversations. Then just I'm pretty sure all it does is like just uses AI to make sure
summarize it.
Yeah, summarize. No, not summarize. Just make sure you're like it's perfectly transcribing.
Like, there's no
the discussion.
Like Grammarly in a way, like where it
almost like Grammarly. Yeah. I didn't research enough into it, but I still think there isn't like something I don't want to. It's a subscription based service. No one really uses it because it's like.
You don't want the whole thing. You don't want a whole 1 hour meeting transcribed unless you're like.
And it's a premium. Like you need to pay like for 30 minutes. For the first 10 minutes, it's free, and then 30 minutes onwards, it's like every hour. There's like an hourly rate of like $100-something.
Damn.
For whatever how much. So I'm like, I kind of just want to provide it for free.
Yeah.
If it was like to create something like.
Well, how would you make money then? What would be the business model?
So the thing is like. I haven't really thought of a concise business model, but like I think if people just all right, this is a good example, like ChatGPT, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have ChatGPT, which uses a specific version of its like they have a specific version of it. So right now it's on like 4.0 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's like then they provide like a monthly $25 subscription for if you want a higher version of it, right? I think it's kind of in the same sense that way, but like,
yeah, you get the basic for free, or
yeah,
the premium.
honestly, like the thing is like, I don't think it's that hard of a concept to make. Because I'm
No.
talking with my friend about it, and he's like, "This isn't that bad. Like, all you gotta know is you just get ChatGPT API,
Yeah.
right? Like, you just have AI. It's the reason it's called OpenAI is because
It's open source,
It's
yeah.
open source, so people can code whatever they
Yeah.
want with it, and so just integrate that into a transcribing app, a transcribing program, which you can make a transcribing program pretty easy.
Yeah, that would be. We could do that right.
Yeah.
Right, and ChatGPT is good for writing code. Like you
Yeah,
can go into
exactly.
ChatGPT and say, "Write me a Python code that picks up audio from the computer microphone and
Yeah.
transcribes it," and it would do
Yeah,
it
do it-
instantly. And it
yeah,
would probably
exactly.
work with a
Yeah.
couple minor tweaks.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think it's like a fairly easy concept to do. And so I think like providing that service for free would be so like it'd be so big. People would use it so
Yeah.
much because it's such a common thing in the corporate world
Yeah,
to use. And it's like you don't want. I mean, obviously there's always interns there that are taking notes, but like it's so much easier to just do
yeah,
that.
yeah, totally.
All right, another one.
Or
I got
okay, yeah,
No.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the only thing is, if you do have an hour-long meeting or whatever,
Right.
it would be easy enough to transcribe it and get something to summarize it, whether it be ChatGPT or Grammarly type thing.
Mhm.
The only thing I'm thinking, and this isn't a critique, I'm just thinking
No,
out
no,
loud,
no.
is
I want to hear all the critiques, everything.
how it would have to be the AI that summarizes it would have to be good in the sense of actually knowing what's important and what's not, because a ChatGPT thing could, if you're taking an hour-long conversation and breaking it down to a page worth of bullet points, some information is going to be left out.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want just the most important information.
How would
But
it
what's
know?
most
How would it know?
important in a meeting is obvious to humans, but that type of shit's not obvious
That's true.
to AI.
That's true. That's
you
true,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
That's why I think like the way I concised it up was the way it would be set up would be main topics discussed, nothing else, just main topics discussed, and then I think the most important part that people want to know is action items. And so I would just do like an action item section where people would just be like, "Oh, this is what I have to do."
Yeah.
All people want to know is what do I have to do?
Yeah, that's
and
true.
what did I like miss?
How does this affect me?
Yeah, exactly. Anything that it's very like it's self-centered.
Yeah.
Like way of thinking. But it's true. Like that's how people are gonna think. Like they only want to know what's gonna affect them.
Yeah,
the end of the
totally.
day. So that's I mean it's something that I'm trying, but I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I don't
worth
know
a
that.
shot. And you could even you could test it out. I mean, we could do this at some point. I could even try to send you a podcast. Well, although that's kind of different than important things, but throw a transcription into ChatGPT.
on this video or this
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, exactly. I can send you a 30-minute clip of it.
Yeah.
You use it
Send
to
me
try
the whole
to
hour and then
transcribe
try
it.
it.
Yeah.
Try it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and try to see if
And that's why I think like the clip thing, like the
Opus
AI,
AI,
clip,
yeah.
Opus AI is really like they have it's the same concept. Like
Yeah.
they take bits and parts of the podcast on its own by just finding those points and
Yeah.
just making clips out of it, which is so
I feel like AI, and this isn't necessarily my original thought, like Mark Zuckerberg talks about this, and Llama 3, Facebook's AI, it has a much more complicated user interface in the sense that you kind of have to know what you're doing with coding, whereas ChatGPT, you can just put in plain old English and it'll help you either way.
yeah, right.
But supposedly Zuckerberg's idea behind the Llama 3 is that people will use. He thinks we're far away from this far general artificial intelligence, like a ChatGPT thing that can just do and anything for you. Hey, make me a perfect schedule, and it goes and does it. You know what I
Right,
mean?
Yeah.
But what's more realistic in the near term is a bunch of individual AIs that are good at one specific thing, and then you just have a handful that you use. And
Yeah.
supposedly that AI, Llama 3, is helpful with building those sorts of programs, and I could see it being helpful in something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you're a smart guy, even though like I think, and this isn't a critique of more businessy type majors, but I think more businessy type majors tend to have the idea of like, oh, this is a great idea. We could definitely get someone to like pay this, do this, and make money
Money
on
off
our
of it,
investment
yeah,
because
yeah.
it might cost $500,000 to make, but if we can sell subscriptions over this amount of time,
Yeah.
we'll have this amount of money.
Yeah.
But which isn't a bad way of thinking, obviously. But I think it helps to have engineers involved in that sort of thing because they know like, oh, what we need to do actually isn't that complicated.
Yeah, the details.
Let's try and do it ourselves first
Yeah.
and get input from other people as opposed
Exactly.
to just fully
Yeah.
handing it off. So, but I think you could, if you do some research, if you're like, all right, 10 hours over the next week, I'm just going to research how to build an AI on your own computer. Like
Yeah.
you would learn a lot, and I think you could make a lot of progress
Yeah. Yeah.
just in that amount of time.
yeah,
you know?
which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. How much time would you say you've spent working on it?
I don't know. Over the past, because I thought of this idea like last time we golfed. So like
Yeah,
yeah,
Pinecrest.
Pinecrest, like probably like 2 months ago. So I don't know, a month and a half ago. Yeah, a month and a half ago. So I would say probably like in between that time, 5 hours. At
Okay.
most.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Not enough. It's just me talking to my friend about. It's just majority of the time it's just me and my friend just talking about it, and then him screen sharing his computer and just showing me the code, and we're just pretty much talking about like what we can change or
Yeah.
what things can be different. But it's just kind of a side project for him. And
Yeah.
Same thing for me.
It's
so.
hard to like fully put a bunch of hours into something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like while
yeah,
you're working and
Yeah.
you're a social guy, you got stuff you want to do.
And it's also like you kind of want to like. It's more like taking that first step is so hard in creating a business, dude. Like, taking that I don't know. It's
having
tough
that
to say.
confidence in yourself.
Yeah,
to be
like it's
I can
it's,
fucking do this.
It's
Yeah.
the feeling too, though. You know what I mean? I'm trying
Yeah.
to describe the feeling of
Yeah.
like it's like almost anxiety. It's like you don't know if it's gonna succeed, and then you look at it, and you're like disheartened by like the other prospects.
Yeah.
And other things.
Yeah,
happening.
totally.
So like
It's like when you first have the idea, you're like, this is great. Like we can totally do this. And then like you see it and you're thinking about it and you see some of the obstacals and then
Yeah.
you're like,
I don't know. If
I
I
don't.
through all
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Exactly. Like there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
I feel like we gotta make that leap at some point.
Dude,
in
I don't
our
know.
lives.
I think
The
some of
people
those.
who make that leap are the ones who
Yeah, that's true.
make
Yeah.
money.
I'm trying to
you
I'm
know?
trying to think of something that you and I can do too, because I feel like there's so much. To be honest, like there are like I feel like there's like not many people that I know that would be willing to like actually like go and like make that first step to start a
Yeah.
business. But you're like definitely one of
Dude.
them that would just take the step to do it.
I
And we've done it together. To be
Yeah.
fair, like we did the caddy app, and so like we made that first step and we tried, and so it was like it was a good thing, you know. Like
Yeah.
we at least took that first step to try, and so.
and totally,
we just gotta
we'll
find
definitely have stuff, and it doesn't need to be like right this second. You know what I mean? But like at some point throughout our lives, like I'm sure we'll be in touch. It's not like we'll call each other every weekend,
No,
but
no,
I feel
no.
like we'll be in touch
Absolutely,
for
brother.
a while. You know what I
Easily,
mean?
Yeah, easily.
I don't see us being the type of friends that like a year from now never
No,
talk
no,
again.
no,
you
no,
know what I mean?
No. All right, here, hold on. Let me.
Yeah.
When
yeah,
it comes
yeah,
to that,
keep going,
let's talk
yeah,
about more ideas.
yeah.
All right. This is a good one. I think you might like this one.
I'm sure I will.
Okay. All right. An interactive storytelling box. That's what I have. So I want you to. All right. This is the
Okay.
premise of what I was thinking about. So think back to like elementary school or like early in elementary school, right? And you
Okay.
read like, all right, good example. The Percy Jackson series.
Okay.
All right. You were reading the Percy Jackson books and you were like, shit, I want to be involved in like this story. Like I want to have something that like I want that sword. I want that
Yeah.
pen that turns into a sword.
Yeah.
Like all
You
these
want to
little-
like be that character.
Yeah, I
and
want to
feel
be
the way
that
he's
character,
feeling.
right?
Okay.
So pretty much the idea is like it's a delivery service where either every 2 months, 3 months, depending on the child, like if it's a younger child like kindergartner, or like, you provide them like story picture books or anything like that, and you give them stuff to interact with.
What do
know?
you mean? Oh, like props that go along
Props
with
that go
the
along with
story.
it. Let's say
I
for like a
see. So they
fairy
can
tale,
like act up.
let's say like a fairy tale type of storybook. You give them a shield, you get them like little plastic swords, something that gets them involved.
Yeah.
And the whole point is that the reason that kids want to, like, parents want their children to read books is that they want them to know how to read. They want them to, like, pretty much up their linguistics, like, know, like, basic, like, like, basic English, and try to, like, advance their, I don't know.
This is a good idea.
What do you
You
think?
could market it to parents in a way that says, okay, yeah, dude, you could totally do this.
Yeah,
If you,
right?
It's like a rental service for books and toys that kids like that go along with those books.
Yeah.
So that way it encourages them to read,
Yeah.
and the parents, dude, that could be,
Because
you
you're,
could sell,
you're talking about, like, kids that you're like, the whole point I have
And-
here is, like,
dude,
critical thinking and literacy. That's the
Yeah.
biggest part of why you read books.
you could, so many thoughts are going through my head. You could pitch it to the parents as, this is a great way to get your kid engaged in reading. It has these toys that come along with
Yeah.
it. 2, not sure what kind of books you even want them to read. Well, here's a big list of things we have.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of studies that show why kids reading early helps them.
Yeah.
3, aren't you sick of spending money on
Mm-hmm.
a toy that your kid gets bored with in a couple weeks, months, however long, and then
Yeah.
gets rid of it and wants something new? You can rent our toys from us,
Yeah.
and when they're done the book, you give it back, or if you want, you have the option to buy it afterwards. If they really like their Percy Jackson shield, you can keep it.
Yeah.
You just have to pay a fee, and
Exactly.
if you rent enough stuff, every 5 books, you get 1 free book in
Right.
costume.
We don't even, to be honest, like, I'm thinking about it, we don't even need to rent it out. We just give them the stuff. And so
They just
It's-
sell
it's-
it. So instead of
it's
buying
like-
a $10 book, they buy
yeah.
a $25
and
package.
the
Is that
best,
what you mean?
like, one of the best things I thought about it in that idea was that it can be a collaboration, right? There's a lot of people that are writing story
Yeah.
books, like picture books or like novels, right? And they have a really tough time getting author or like what do you call those, like book? I'm not sure what you call them. The companies that pretty much sell the books or like make them official.
Like publishers?
Yeah, publishers.
Okay,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So you have, like, the publishers are gonna be the people that are accepting the authors, right? Like accepting, like, oh, this
Yeah.
is a good story. We're gonna publish this now.
Yep.
We're gonna create it into a book, and then you can make a series.
Yeah.
Make it a collaborative effort for us. We can be a publisher too. Like,
Yeah.
we could pretty much be people that take these authors and they will write a story for us, and now we provide the story to them
Yeah.
with extra stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. You could provide them the story with extra stuff. You could also, too, sell to schools in bulk, because realistically, I don't know. So I think some parents definitely would, but I think a lot of parents wouldn't. Like, if they could buy their kid a book for $10, but they have to pay $25 for the kid, whatever. There definitely is parents that would pay that for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's also parents that'd be like, "Oh, I'll just get him the book instead and let him read it." So what's a way we could make money in spite of having some percentage? Like, if there's an asymptote, like a limit to what we can
Yeah.
sell to parents, what's another source of revenue
Yeah,
would be
'cause
to schools
you're talking
directly.
about kids will get sick of it within a 2-month or a month period.
Whenever they're done the book,
Yeah,
or if they
it's-
really like the book,
yeah.
and there's a second one, they
Yeah,
might
exactly.
keep it going. Yeah.
And so, like, I think that, I don't know. I really
Well,
liked
okay.
the idea of it.
No, that's a really good idea. And let's think about this. What exactly would your spot in the market be? Because to become a publisher, which would be an option,
That could even be a more down the line thing, like you were saying, once it's established and stuff.
so maybe the company could act as a middleman between the publishers and their clients, whether that be parents wanting their kids to read or kids themselves at
Yeah.
a library or whatever. Could sell some
Yeah.
to libraries too, or schools where they sell
Yeah,
a bunch of books too.
yeah.
You could be a middleman in between there that spreads out to all those different branches, and then a percentage goes to publisher, percentage goes to the author.
Like, genuinely
the
think
rest you
about
keep to
all the
yourself.
different books that you read as a kid. Like,
Dude,
like Jan Cam, like all. I
So
literally just
many.
immediately thought of Jan Cam. I thought of, like,
So
I was
many,
thinking about
dude.
so many other books, like
book box. That's what you could call it.
Bookbox. Bookbox is good. Bookbox is good. Oh, what was the other one?
It
With
could all
the,
come in a box that's themed based around
the
that book.
detective books too, like the kids' detective
Dude,
books. Oh my
It
god.
could be
dude.
any little dude. Oh my god! Because the thing is, too, like, you could make so many different toys or props based off each book.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we introduce a new book, you could look up what it is or like use ChatGPT
You remember Big
to
Nate
be
and
like
shit
fucking,
like that too? Yeah, like shit like
and
that.
you could be like
Like
tell
the
me
clothes.
the frequent objects that are referenced that are important to characters
Yeah,
in
in the
this
novel.
book, and we just pick like the 3 or 4 that fit in a box and are cheap to make, which would also be the hard part. Is would we make?
the thing
Would
is-
you make all the toys
So
yourselves?
what I
'Cause
was-
then that you need manufacturing.
What I was thinking
for
about
that.
was you would need a lot of money up front.
Yeah,
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. You would need a shit ton of money up front
to be able to make those toys.
Exactly. And the way you have to do it, like I also think about like the reason I'm so hesitant about it is obviously I don't have the money.
Yeah,
But you could sell not sell your idea, but pretty much create a pitch deck of the idea and then go to investors, get either grant money or seed or some
Yeah.
type of like early investing seed funding.
and then you go to. I'm sure there's probably a whole network and conferences about meeting manufacturers for toys.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
The toy manufacturers conference.
Yeah, and
you
so
know what
like
I mean?
you
Whatever
go
it's
there,
called.
you go to those conferences and you try to find like the one that'll provide the
These
least amount of
toys, yeah.
costs, and so, I mean that's all
Huh.
an effort, but
Yeah.
that's why it's so hard to start because you would need to put in a lot
That
of
would be
effort
a big upfront thing.
to really get into it, and that was the one that was like that's what's holding me back, time obviously, so it's like
Unless
trying to put that time in.
there was a cheaper way to make things or a category of objects that like you could give out like a dress for whatever character or wand or shield or
Yeah.
whatever, but what if it didn't even need to be as big scale as that? What if you could 3D print objects maybe that are like, because they would have to be a
Like
certain
figurines?
size, like almost figurines or like
Mm.
figurines of the characters you could do, or like if you got like a normal size or a more expensive 3D printer, you could have bigger things.
Right,
And
yeah.
what if
That
we
would
had like 10 of those printers, we could print shit out fucking
fast.
quick.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, within
Quick.
a day period,
And then
we'll
you're
have like 10
that's our
elements,
and that's our bottleneck. We can only
Yeah.
sell as much as we can make.
yeah.
But then you're making money because if we go straight to a company right now and say we have like all these ideas, I don't know. I feel like companies or not companies, investors would be like, okay, well you have nothing. I feel like if you had something,
Yeah.
show for like, we've been doing it on our own with fucking 3D printers for a year and we've made
I think
30 grand or
if
whatever.
we were to start something like this, the same way we started the caddy thing, like we have to do customer discovery. Like that's like
Yeah.
the most important part about starting a business is just where is the demand and what is the market.
Yeah.
Like how much money is there in the market to and is it going to be profitable? Like is there going to be enough revenue to come in to, make this a worthwhile investment for a lot of people?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think for me, when I think about an idea like that, it's like, I think the customer discovery is going to be huge. I
Yeah.
think there's so
Oh,
many
totally.
parents that are just like,
And how would we reach these parents? Social media?
I mean, yeah,
Parent
because think about
teacher
it.
Conferences?
Tell me,
Not parent
All
teacher
right.
conferences.
like just going to schools.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
you meant, right?
And then
Parent teacher conference.
no, what are the things where they have like school board meetings?
Oh, school board meetings.
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
meant.
that works. Yeah, I was
That
thinking
is
just
with
like,
the parents and the teachers. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was just thinking like yeah, like
Yeah,
school
like
board
it could
meetings
help
or
introduce.
what do you call them? Like the auditorium shit. Like what? we
Yeah,
used to do.
assemblies.
Yeah, assemblies.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit like that.
And and like this could even be an in where it's like first major client, the Scholastic things that would go around. And they
That's
would have the
exactly what I was
bookstore
thinking too.
each.
Scholastic. Yeah. So I'm like, it's like,
Dude, that could be a whole business in of itself. Just selling toys to Scholastic that match the themes
Yeah.
of the books, and
Yeah.
it all comes in this one cute box.
oh yeah, yeah. And I think
You
like,
could have one big client.
yeah, exactly. And they would pay a probably huge
Yeah.
premium for it
Yeah.
too. And I don't know. I think there's such a big market for it, and we don't have to. I don't think we would even have to look far to ask, because you're talking about, and also like I think you're right. Like the way we would reach them is social media, because right now the people that are having the kids are millennials. Like,
Yeah.
they're the ones,
Yeah.
and they use social media, and they
A lot.
see it a lot, and they see like like you just see it in your feed, your Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Like you'll see these things come up, and it's like a very like I think anybody can agree like critical thinking and literacy is so important for children. So
absolutely.
That's why I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I thought that was a good idea.
That is
definitely something that I just want to start doing, but like it's more about creating a pitch deck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm really bad
Definitely
at
need
that.
a pitch deck, but also
and I'm
like
also really bad at that. Like
at pitch decks.
Like I need it. No. Like creating like 3D. Like pitch decks because I don't know how to create like fake models of things that I want to do.
What do you mean a fake like a 3D model?
A 3D model
I see what you
on
mean.
like
Yeah.
you know like you pretty much show like, oh, this is kind of the idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I had this thought too. I wonder because we would need, or you would need, whoever goes on this endeavor would need a lot of money for manufacturing in the beginning. But what if this would be a whole nother level of work, but it would avoid the cost of manufacturing? It would definitely be cheaper than manufacturing at all. But what if for each story, say, whatever, Harry Potter, and you want like a little wand, maybe we don't need to make all the toys or hire one person to make all these custom toys we have. What if we just were like, okay, Harry Potter, like buy something that looks like a wand. It doesn't need to be Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's like the universal ones that are like
exactly.
mirror images.
Yeah,
it could just be a random fucking wand. And I'm sure we could find some cheap $2 wand online, reach out to those manufacturers and say, hey, can we get a discount price if we buy 1,000 of them, 2,000, 10,000,
That's exactly what I'm
however many. So then we don't have to pay to develop the manufacturing.
Yeah.
Manufacturing's already there. That's just a cost, and the cost for the product, which would be, it would only make more sense to build your own manufacturing process if it was like a years long cycle or decades long road.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly,
mean?
yeah. And
Because
whoever's
otherwise you're just
listening
paying
to
the
this,
people
this
for
is
research.
official IP that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
This is our official IP.
Yeah.
We verbally said this is our official IP. So, yeah.
I thought a lot about too, like saying certain ideas, like, oh, this is a good idea. I don't want this to get taken. But also think about this. Almost anyone who sees this is not going to take the leap either. You know what I mean? They're not going to be like, okay, I'm going to devote a bunch of time to this now. You know what I mean?
We say that and then it happens.
Yeah, we say this is like, it's like in the future and this like before.
Yeah, literally.
This video was taken November 2nd, 2024.
So I would be so pissed if someone took that. I think that's such a good idea. And
that is a good idea.
I was thinking about that. So I don't know. I was just thinking about it because the reason I thought about it was because I saw like someone was bringing up Greek mythology on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, I remember reading Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if? That was pretty much,
wait a second. Yeah.
Pretty much. But that was
That's a good one. I like it. You got what other
all
ideas
right,
you got?
dude. I don't want to take up too much of the time, but
dude, no, I'm down to ride however long. Sometimes the average is like 2.5, 3 hours. We don't have to go. We can go as long as you want, but don't feel rushed about anything. That's the good thing about this is like, see what I mean? What I was saying earlier, just hanging out, having a couple beers.
Yeah.
So if there was a group of people here, if we're golfing or doing whatever with a big group of people, that's great. But we might talk about a tenth of how deep we just went in about that business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The one-on-one, you're right. Like the one-on-one does make a difference. So it's like, it is really important.
It's good. Yeah.
All right.
And not like feeling rushed about it. Like we can go as long or as little as we want.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Another idea.
Yeah. Hit me.
All right.
How many do you have on that list?
I have. Let's see how many more. 1, 2. I have 3 more.
Okay.
Not too bad.
No.
But they're like descriptive because it's kind of like.
No, I'm in no rush. Dude.
Yeah.
I want to hear these ideas.
All right. Next one. Same thing, kind of like it's a monthly service.
Okay.
It's a subscription.
You like
service.
the subscription services?
Because I think subscription services provide the best. And what I've seen, I think they provide the best revenue.
Yeah, and if you can get a client to stay on, odds are they'll. If you can get a client on, odds are they'll stay.
Yeah, because if it's like pay service like Uber, like I was watching like the like videos on it, and it's like Uber was obviously in the red for like 2 years before they could actually make money off of it. So like I think a subscription-based service just makes so much sense because it's consistent revenue coming at us at a rate, like at like
Yeah.
an intervaled rate, so you know what's coming, like what's gonna
Mhm.
be in the, like you can foretell
Yeah,
what's gonna
yeah,
happen
exactly.
next like fiscal season.
That's very true.
Personalized sleep optimizing kit.
Okay.
The reason I brought this up was because my dad has a really tough time sleeping,
Gotcha.
and it's like I low-key think he's just an insomniac. So it's
Really?
like,
Oh, damn.
so it's kind of like
Stuff that's helped him.
yeah,
all in
and so
one box.
I'm thinking of like what I was thinking of was like pretty much an app or like it's similar like a
Okay.
kit
Yeah.
a kit, right? And it provides like first you do a survey. You do like, all right, these are my sleep issues. I have I can only fall asleep watching a video. I wake up throughout the night at 2-3 in the morning and
Yeah.
not able to fall asleep.
Bunch of survey
Just
questions.
whatever
to gather
the
data
questions
on
are,
that
and
individual.
get an idea
Yeah.
of what their issue is, and then providing like some type of like here, like I wrote down herbal medicines, hygienes, oils, that like sleeping
Yeah.
oils, sleep masks that are all tailored to their problem, and then pretty much link them with a one-on-one sleep like doctor.
Coach, therapist,
Yeah,
whatever.
coach,
yeah.
therapist, or someone with a background in
Yeah.
that sleep therapy type of situation, and then you have an app that would it's like every other sleep tracking app, but the biggest thing is like almost like a Reddit forum. Like
Yeah.
you say, these are my issues, and what are some solutions you guys have found, and then it pretty much brings people together
Yeah.
to collaborate about ways to
like a
find better
comments
sleep.
page,
Yeah, as a
that- yeah.
yeah.
I see that market. I'm thinking about who would realistically buy this and spend
Yeah, like
money
on it.
regularly on it for as a subscription
Yeah.
service, and I think the market would be older people people who go on
Absolutely, yeah.
Facebook. They have issues sleeping. They have for a while. It's a suburban mom who can't sleep,
Yeah.
and she sees this thing online or her
Mhm.
friend talks about it or whatever. It's just like $150 initial kit with all these oils,
Yeah.
whatever. You can re-up on that
Mhm.
whenever you want, or
Mhm.
subscribe to certain items
Yep.
within that. Say you do the full box 1 month, and then you obviously don't need another night mask. The certain things might have worked, but not the others. So
Yeah.
the next month or at any point throughout your subscription, you can
And you have a
handpick what items you
personal-
want to reorder.
Yeah, exactly. And you have a personal like you have a person on the other side, a one-on-one where you could literally just tell them all your issues
Yeah,
and just be like, "Hey, this is my issues and these aren't helping."
yeah,
Then I'll change your prescription. This is what you'll have now.
totally. Yeah. All right. So, what would be the challenges of starting that? One, you would have to find a group of
Sleep doctor?
specific
Yeah.
doctors or physicians. Figure out however much their rate is
Yeah.
to do this. Advertising to that demographic, because they're not on social media a ton, but they're on enough on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah. And it's like
I feel like that would have to be more of like a not grassroots, but like feet on the ground type of situation.
absolutely,
You know what I mean?
yeah. And I think like I'm thinking like there's also people within college or even like I'm sure you've met people that just cannot sleep well in college
yeah.
too. Like
yeah.
they have a really tough time getting good sleep, or like there's a lot of insomniac conditions, you know, and there's a lot of studies on people that I looked into it. And like there's a lot of studies on natural herbs that'll not cure but pretty much ease the pain with insomniacs, and you won't have to take like Xanax to like pretty much
Yeah.
like, go to bed.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure there is a bunch of like herbal or more.
Yeah. And so like that's the type of idea
holistic
that I was thinking of. Honestly, this is on like on the lower end of what I want to do cuz I don't think it's not like the best idea, but I just think it's an idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I know. I don't think it's a bad idea. But yeah, there'd be more challenges and there's potentially other stuff.
Yeah, cuz it's not
try
as
doing more.
cuz the market isn't as fresh. Like for the one with like the kids storytelling box.
It's a
Like,
much bigger market.
It's a much bigger
Yeah.
market, and you're talking about people that are using like you'll have a
Yeah.
huge social media presence if
Yeah.
you can utilize it well.
Yeah, and really get other parents into it, talking
Yeah,
about it. Their kids
exactly,
love it,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I need to take a bathroom
Interesting.
break. Can we take a bathroom break?
Yeah. Go for it. Go
All
for it. Oh man, Z, you still here? You haven't been commenting at all.
No, there's no way he's here.
Yeah, he's gone. Gonzo.
There's zero chance.
Gonzo ball. Do I need to pee?
What's your bathroom?
Right through, make a right and you'll see a door, and it's that one. And then it's, I don't know if the door is open. In there's like the little room on the right. I'm gonna go rock piss in that.
Dude, you know what I was thinking about too?
What's up?
While I was thinking this, I was like, you should have like a waiting screen.
Yeah, like a pause. Like
Yeah,
we'll
like,
be
we'll
right
be
back.
right back,
Yeah. That's a good idea. I should add that. That would be really
I
cool.
feel like it's easy to add.
Dude, that would be. I'll add it right now.
That'd be so funny, dude.
Dude, I'm gonna do that right now. That's perfect. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna copy this. This. Can we only select one thing at once? Yeah. Alright, well, I'll do that later then. Or should I do it now?
I mean, just it's
Now I kind of want to, but
Yeah,
we
no,
probably
that's
won't.
might as
I was thinking
well.
we might need it again, probably for the the day. All right, copy, paste. This software is really
Dude, this is
pretty
nice.
easy. Yeah. So like all this shit is a way bigger upgrade than the first ones when we were just fucking in the basement on an
Right.
iPhone, you know. Yeah, I guess you could just add all those things right back, but or like I just add new things, but it is nice to copy and paste because then you don't have to select like the source or anything.
Right, yeah.
Now I'm gonna add a text box, text, add source, new source.
will be back. Let's make the size huge, right?
Yeah.
All caps or no?
Uh,
Or just say, what should it be? Be right back.
Be right back. Or pee break.
Yeah. Should change the font. Something more fun. Yeah, that's good. Damn, even that font looks small. Oh, there we go. That's bigger. All right, what color?
I feel like a
blue, white, gradient.
bluish white. Yeah, I like that.
There.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I gotta add like outlines to the letters. I think there's a way to do that. Read from file. Is there an
Dude, my vision is
outline?
ass.
Dude, no, this TV is hard to read. I'm straining my eyes right now.
Yeah, my vision is ass.
You can tell what it says.
Yeah, it's very
You
evident.
get the gist.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like the same gradient as the Pat Pod thing.
It's perfect.
Matches the theme.
It's
The blue and
perfect.
white vibes.
It's perfect.
Yeah. I feel like this background setup
No,
is
it's
good
perfect,
too. I had
dude.
all these like
I like it. I like it a lot. I like the
Dude,
setup a lot. Yeah.
I was nervous how I was gonna look because all these posters are from like fucking high school.
Yeah.
The only thing that's somewhat new is this South Carolina flag.
No, I like this because this is all oh my god, why am I blanking on the artist? But
I don't know who you're thinking of. I can tell you what it is though.
it's the Dark Side of the Moon. Who's the
Pink Floyd?
Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
fucking, Pink
yeah.
Floyd shit.
Oh yeah. It's all the Pink Floyd. It's references from different Pink
Yeah.
Floyd songs.
And
I used to smoke and look at that picture for so long.
tell me all of the posters
Yeah.
from left to right.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, honestly, I'll just give you. Won't do it from left to right. What I'll say is this one is like you said, the Pink Floyd one.
Yeah.
All of these ones, the ones left and right up there,
Yeah.
and these three are all posters that were made by NASA to get younger people excited and interested in space and space
Oh, that's really cool.
exploration. Yeah, isn't that really
that's
cool?
sick. Yeah.
So then from left to right,
Yeah.
Mars, obviously we got
Right.
what that is like a fake civilization
Right.
on Mars, or not fake civilization, but
Like
a civilization on Mars.
Yeah,
And
like a
under it, it
possibility.
has a caption of what it says,
Right.
or what is going on. And I think that one is like the first civilization
Whoa.
outside our planet will be on Mars.
Right.
Then Europa, and I think that one is there's possibly life under the seas. It's a moon of Jupiter that's covered in ice
Right.
and presumably water under the ice, which is
Yeah.
where life started. So maybe there's life on Europa. Titan is a planet of Saturn, it looks like, because Saturn's in the background.
Right.
And it's like all... What does it say? There's, unless it's really hard
It's
to read. They
really
are
hard to
small.
read.
Yeah.
I can barely
It's like oceans of like liquid nitrogen or something crazy. Like it's
Right.
not water. The Grand Tour, that's like a bunch of aircrafts going past the solar system and the
Right.
planets. Basically, the caption's like, we can explore our solar systems with rockets, that sort of shit. Venus. I actually don't know what this one represents. It looks like a little
Yeah, like a little dome.
dome around it.
Yeah, for
For whatever. I guess we'll
possibility
find out.
of living there. I guess I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I'll read this one just so you can get a gist of what they say. The rare science opportunity of planetary transits has long inspired bold voyages to exotic vantage points. Journeys such as James Cook trekked to the South Pacific to watch Venus and Mercury cross the face of the sun in 1769. Spacecraft now allow us the luxury to study these cosmic crossings at times of our choosing for unique locals across our systems. Locales. This is hard to read. That is so tiny.
Yeah, that's sick though.
Earth. I really like this one. Earth, your oasis in space. Like
Oh, that's really cool.
when humans are just traveling throughout the solar system, Earth is like, come to Earth. You'll feel at home.
I feel like
You
it's
know?
gonna be like Wall-E at that point. So
Yeah,
I think it's a
maybe.
lie to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I don't know. I think these came out a while ago, like in the 19
Really?
something.
No, that's
yeah.
sick though. That's awesome.
Jupiter.
I like these
that's
posters
cool.
a lot.
Yeah, I like the Jupiter one too. Like
Yeah.
it's saying, I think in that one that there's like northern lights on
Like
like a Northern Lights type thing, but it's different chemical reactions in the sky, so they're all different colors. Yeah,
Whoa, that's cool.
yeah. Let's see if I can see.
Yeah, I don't think you should ask me because I can barely read shit right
Jovian Cloudscape boasts the most spectacular light show in the solar system, with the northern and southern lights to dazzle even the most jaded space traveler.
The lights are 100 times more powerful. That would be crazy.
now.
So yeah, that's the gist of those posters. Then these two I got at this like outside the main building on our campus. Once a year they would do like once or twice a year they would do like this big poster sale. And I never really went except the one time I was like, fuck it, let me see what they got. Octopus on Jupiter, that's pretty cool. And that one's just like, I don't know what it is.
Is it
Heavens up high and water.
were they artists that were like working at?
No, they
Yeah,
were
it's
just
like just poster selling.
generic posters. They
Yeah.
they had like thousands of posters, like those big books you
Yeah.
could look through.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's,
that would be cool if they were like local artists or whatever. But no, it was definitely a purely commercial
It could all be
business.
AI
Yeah.
generated. Like
yeah,
all
they,
AI
yeah,
generated
exactly,
posters.
stuff like that. Yeah,
That's funny.
it definitely was not a artistic venture.
That's good.
All right, you want to read the other ideas?
Oh yeah, I'll go through some more. All right, let's see. No, this is some of these other ones though. They're not like they're all right. Yeah, all right.
I know
Alright.
what you mean. I got a big list of
Yeah, I
ideas
know.
on my phone. And
I
like,
remember the ones that you gave me. They were good.
yeah, half of them are like just bullshit thoughts. Like I'm adding this to the list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like something you just think about on the fly. And you're like, it seems like an
Yeah.
all right idea. So I had one where it's like an AI investment fund.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of investment banks. Or no, not. I shouldn't say investment banks. I should say quant trading firms use
Okay.
AI or use some type of algorithm, which is using the all their basis is off the Black-Scholes
What's
model.
a quant trading firm?
So a quant trading firm is like I'm not going to describe it well, but I'll try my best to describe it. But it's pretty much you get a lot of mathematicians, right, who are really good at coding,
Okay.
and the basis of every model is called the Black-Scholes model, which is have you heard of it
Nah.
before? So it's I gotta look up the formula. So the formula is, or you show it on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's look it up.
Yeah.
What's it called?
The Black-Scholes equation.
The Black SCHULZ.
SCHOL
SCHOL
model
Oh,
or
Scholes,
equation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you pull that up, perfect. So this is the Black-Scholes equation, right? It takes the derivation of technically it's a velocity, right?
Okay.
But
Velocity
it's
over time.
but
is it the change in the price of something?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's technically the change in price of something, right, over time, right? Times plus half of the variability, and then the stock price squared of the price
Okay.
over the stock's
Yeah.
like variability
Yeah.
plus
Of the second derivative.
yeah,
Of, yeah.
of the second derivative of its, so it's technically its acceleration, or which in this case it's taking
Well,
the price
Yeah.
over
What
like a
would this
stock
be?
price.
Because the first dv over dt is acceleration, the change in velocity over the change in time.
Yeah, so
The
that one
change, the second derivative of
it's
the change in speed over the stock price.
I took
would
a
give
whole
you-
class on this
okay,
and I don't
that-
remember a single
That
bit of it.
So the change of the speed over the stock price means how much is it possibly going to change over, or how much is it going to change on average
Yeah.
times whatever the price is to cancel it out, because the unit on the bottom is time, so
Mhm.
or dollars in
Yeah.
how much the stock price is, cancel it out with the other S squared times the variability. Because
Yeah.
I don't know where the 1/2 comes from.
If you talked to me like 6 months ago, I could tell you like a full I could talk an
Yeah.
hour about this, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I like after I started work, I just
forget,
I just
yeah.
tried just like fuck
Yeah,
this
totally.
shit. I'm totally over it. But the basic idea of it is that you pretty much create a model of a stock or any type of, or you take over like an economic, like or over an entire
Industry,
economy
yeah.
or an industry, like, and you can predict what's going to happen in the future. So a good example is like, let's say in the what's a good trading sea? All right, Panama Canal. Let's say in the Panama Canal, right, there is a current change where the water is running at a slower rate than it did 2 days ago.
Okay.
What the model would pretty much be able to do is you take you can pretty much predict how oil ships or anything that's transferring through the Panama Canal, right? If let's say it's oil ships are traveling through the Panama Canal. Oh, the current is slower. So the model will take that into account and be like,
Okay.
now the price of, this is a very simplified
Yeah.
version, but now oil prices are going to drop. That's the basic idea of it.
Is there a correlation between current speeds and oil prices?
That's the idea. Yeah. And the thing is, though, like these quant trading firm companies, I'll give you some examples. Renaissance,
Okay.
I think that's what they're called. Citadel,
Okay.
they make gross like profits of around like 60 to 70% year over year. So Citadel last year
Using that equation on
using
all
those
different types
using
of...
those models. But the thing is like we don't know exactly what they do.
Yeah, I'm sure they have
But
some
they have-
advanced computer type.
And so Citadel made like 10 billion over like a year period just straight profit.
That's insane.
And so like these companies are like taking the smartest kids. Like my good friend, he's from Harvard. Like my girlfriend introduced me to him, and he's like took Calc BC in like 6th grade or
Oh my
whatever.
God.
Went to Harvard. He's a math major and a CS, I think, minor or something like that. And he's just like wicked
genius,
smart.
yeah.
Just wicked smart. Gets a Citadel, gets paid as an intern. He got into Citadel as an intern. It's really competitive. They pay him $180,000 salary over a
Damn.
3-month summer, right?
As an intern?
As
Holy
an intern
shit.
in New York. And you're pretty much trying to, it's like what you do there as an intern is you're pretty much like fighting each other to
Yeah.
get these spots and get full-time hired on.
Yeah.
And you're doing like stock trading exercises, and you're like pretty much like gambling on the side, like poker. Like people will play poker against, like the company will
Wow.
make you play poker against each other to be
Really?
like, yeah, this is like this is your way of showing your competitiveness or how smart you are or how much of an edge you have on other people.
Wow.
So
That is crazy.
so you have these companies, right, that make a shit ton of money year over year. What about like us as normal people, right? And so I was thinking of like
What about us as
us as normal people.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like the everyday.
What are us plebeians?
Yeah, what are
supposed
some
to do?
literally? Like, what are our plebes? Like, literally,
Yeah.
the poor people,
Yeah.
the underclass,
What are
the
us
forgotten.
layman?
Yeah, exactly. And so I was thinking about like, this is so stupid. This is why I was like, this is like one of those stupid ideas that could possibly happen, but definitely like it'd be take way too much effort and just way too much time. You get like someone who was in the quant trading field, be like, hey, give us like a decent model you think would work to
Yeah.
make some money, and you pretty much have AI trade for you.
Yeah.
And it's an app where you be like, hey, I'm it's like a slider app.
Yeah.
On the lower end, you'll be like, all right, I don't want to be risky. I just want to make money year over year at a rate of like 6 or 7%.
Yeah.
Pretty much a high yield savings account, like a Marcus account or something, like a Marcus or like a whatever, Fidelity or whatever those high yield savings accounts are like. Or you can put the slider to like intense, where you're like risking a shit ton more money, but
Yeah.
this AI will trade based off of quant. You would have to train it,
Yeah. Interesting.
but it would pretty much trade at the rate of all these others, like quant trading banks.
And it would be like a Robinhood type thing with this feature.
Yeah, pretty much. It'd be like,
Or yeah, if you could develop the thing and then license it to Robinhood, because then
Then you wouldn't have to.
You
Think
wouldn't have
about
to
it.
go through the worry of building an app and
Mhm.
having all those regulations of.
Yep.
Sure, there's tons of regulations if you're having
Yep.
an app for
Yep.
everyone that. You know what I mean? That can trade stocks on it. That's got to be
Exactly,
such
yeah.
a big legal cost.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think
if you
the
could make the product and then license it to other, you could even license it to like multiple companies, like license it to banks, but also I keep putting my feet on that, like it's an
Dude,
honor.
it's not.
To license it to like
It's comfortable.
banks,
It's probably comfortable.
to banks or companies like Robinhood, and then
Mm-hmm.
they just implement it among themselves. Yeah,
That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
at least. I don't.
interesting.
I think it's not a bad idea. I just don't know. It just would take.
That's a lot. That would be a
just
lot.
so
of research.
much, like so much. You would first need to know really good math.
Yeah,
Um,
to know how to
to
program
know
it.
how to program it, and then you would need to know.
Exactly how these companies, because I'm sure
You
these
would need-
companies and
you would
banks
need the
already have
experience.
systems in place.
Yeah, you would need the experience behind it.
credibility.
Yeah, and you need to know how these other companies are making like these large amounts of revenue. But to be fair though, like I don't know, corporate banks are like kind of just they make a shit ton of money
Yeah.
because
They-
they have so much.
Dude, they
like,
just
give so
it
much.
makes sense. Their job
capital
is
to do.
move money around on a screen, and because of their ability to move money around, they charge a slice off the top.
Yeah,
And
you
they
have
just do that
so
over
much
and over and over.
capital to work with. It's not even.
By the way, Grady's in here.
Yo,
Nacho.
Grady.
Thanks for tuning in, Grady. Grady's one of the consistent viewers of the show.
Oh yeah.
We're just talking about like random business ideas.
Bro, I wish
If
you were
you
here.
have-
That'd been so much fun.
Yeah.
Is he back in Colorado? Are you
Yeah, he's back in Colorado now.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have anything you want us to talk about or any ideas of or things you were thinking recently, drop them in the chat. Excuse me. Yeah, that would be possible. It would just take a lot of resources.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Is there any others, or is that the last
All right,
one?
all right. Last one.
Okay.
This is the last one, and then we can end the company discussion.
I don't mind.
This is kind of more along the lines of like the work that I'm doing now.
Okay.
So I've realized that a lot of people have a tough time finding collaborations in terms of investors and startups.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people don't know when the conferences are, or like what conferences to go to, or like what investors to reach out which
Yeah.
investors to reach out to. So it's pretty
How
much
to
like
get in contact with
yeah.
those types of people.
And so I was just pretty much thinking of like creating a platform where you could pretty much be like, you submit a white paper, which is like just a general idea of what your like idea or your company idea would be, and you put it onto like a platform, almost like it's very like Reddit based, but like
yeah.
pretty much put it on a platform, and you'd be like, hey, this is my idea, this is the main objectives I'm trying to achieve, and this is the amount of money I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And you just have investors come in and be like,
On
oh.
like a social media type thing.
Yeah, and you
first,
just like
yeah.
scroll through and like, oh, I like this idea, I could invest in this.
Yeah.
This would all obviously be tailored toward people like high net
Small
worth
people.
individual people,
Oh,
or high
yeah.
like people that are like have company like venture
Yeah.
capital firms, or like private equity firms that are interested in this. They would just look into it and just be like, yeah, like I'm gonna
Look
I
at
like this
they
idea.
can browse
Yeah, I like this
potential
idea.
investments.
Yeah, I like this idea. I'm gonna
Yeah.
invest in it.
Have you heard of Kickstarter?
Yeah.
That's similar, but that's more like individuals.
Yeah, I know that's like, it's more like there's obviously a lot of fundraising apps, and there's a lot of like fundraising like ways for people to fundraise. I was just thinking of more like a platform where, because I'm in the biotech field, so it's
Yeah.
kind of like you see people that are just like, it's a very niche subject, and a lot of people, like the biggest issue I saw was conferences. Like people don't know which conferences to go to and where to meet up with people, and so like providing like a notification where it's like, hey, there's a conference going on in your area, you should go and check it out.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I was like. That was kind of the general idea of it, and then pretty much a platform for investors and startups to connect
Yeah.
and just be like, hey, like if you're interested in this idea.
Yeah, and you could like you said with the white papers, vet companies that are like, or vet startup companies that, and only put on companies that would like, you think would be in the interest of
And
these
you have to
bigger
be like
companies.
obviously show
Somewhat
like certification.
established,
Yeah,
yeah.
like if you have a PhD or if you have like some type of master's degree or like a doctorate or something along those lines, and just
Yeah,
that'd be the general idea.
totally. It seems like the people who make a ton of money. Well, I mean, there's people who make a ton of money who like have an idea and build a whole business around it, but there's so much money made just by like middlemen in processes that help facilitate something and skim something off the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Which isn't different. Like that whole idea could be someone's business that they go and start, but just like a broader perspective on business is like if you can just be the middleman between something that money frequently flows over, then you can
You generate money off of that easily.
as opposed to having like build a whole market from scratch.
And all you have to show is what your valuation is. It's like it's just more like how much potential money can you bring in, and that, as long as people see how much potential money you can bring in, then they'll like pay you for it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
pay you to get a chunk of that in the future.
Yeah, and so like you get money regardless of like it's as long as you have the idea and you have like
that's the thing, you got to sell enough to get people interested or investors, because if you have no one's gonna invest in something, almost no one. That's just an idea. You need some sort of at least a minimal viable product. And
you need like the
a plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Idea, but even those are probably more iffy compared to companies that not only have a minimal viable product, but have an actual product that they've sold to 30,000 people in the last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel like that's like one of the toughest things to do. Like, how do you start a company?
Yeah, I, mean? I feel like no one really knows until they go and do it, and then they learn. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's something you can't like learn in a book. Really.
Yeah, I know. It's such a pain in the ass. Sometimes
everything's so different, and each business is so nuanced. Yeah. That is. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy how much business and startup. It's just crazy how much money there is in the world and how much money gets spent every single day.
I was thinking about that too. Think about it's kind of stupid to talk about, but I was seeing the Elon Musk him giving the $1 million to people
that's
to
crazy.
vote.
That's crazy.
Think about how much money you have to like it is controversial, like it is honestly it is like it's a stupid thing to do, but think about how much money you have to have where you just be like, I'm just gonna give away $1 million whenever I want. Just be like,
he's got so
penny
much
to
money.
the it's like a penny to the people
and
once in a while.
That is like we were saying before, you could be a middleman and cut money off the top in between over and over and over and over with bigger and bigger and bigger things in between, or you could have a ton of money by doing what Elon Musk does and basically build the electric car industry. He's been doing it for 20 years, and other big companies just started doing it recently. SpaceX, fucking reusable.
Oh, dude,
rockets
SpaceX is the fact that they are like the leading like
space development program.
Outpace NASA.
Oh, by miles, miles and miles and miles. Yeah,
and that's insane.
Yeah,
me.
And so a lot of his work, like he's so rich, but think about all the equity he has in those companies, and like think about how much money SpaceX is worth. You know what I mean? Like an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
And he just has like he probably doesn't even have a huge slice of that, like because he had investors and shit. You know what I mean?
It's fucking.
But
insane.
his slice is between all those major things is a massive pile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about how like Jeff Bezos and like Elon Musk? Do you know how they are able to get their money? Like how they actually like have cash on hand?
Well, not exactly cash on hand. I'm reading this Elon Musk biography though.
Yeah.
You would really fucking like it.
I would probably. Yeah,
it literally goes year by year, the development of all these companies. You would really like
it. Dude, I'll just send me the book title.
It's just called Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson. I'll send it to you though. He also did one on Steve Jobs that I want to read next. That would be cool.
Dude, Steve Jobs is probably gonna be so like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, dude, these billionaires though, like I
hit that.
Yeah.
Manga.
I was reading on an article about how they pretty much get their money. And they like the way they avoid taxes is like insane. Do you know how they do it? Like,
I
did
don't
you read
know
about it.
We might have heard different ways. There's because
Okay,
there's
okay,
so
okay.
many different
yeah,
ways.
yeah, yeah. What's the one way you heard?
Well, let me
I'm
say
curious.
this, and
Okay.
then I want to. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
you're
I was
good.
going to say yes. They pay so little in taxes
Yeah.
because of these crazy little rules. But
find the
I
loopholes.
don't necessarily blame the billionaires for that.
No,
Like,
no.
if-
That's the
if
rules
you
that
have
were
the
in
money
law.
to pay for a bunch of lawyers to find all the little things that you can make money on, do it.
I
But
don't
they
blame
should
them
have
either.
rules. They should restructure the rule system,
Regulate it.
so that that is impossible. If
Yeah.
you make above this amount of X money in a year
Yeah.
as a company, there's a limit to how much you can write off.
'cause at that point you
write
can
off 60% of your taxes, but you can't write off 100%.
Yeah, at that point you become like a monopoly because if
Yeah.
you just let them just spend however much you want, then you're obviously gonna just spend enough where you're gonna be like, oh, I can make this back tenfold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
Totally.
it's like so. I was reading about the Jeff Bezos one. So the way apparently, I don't know if I think this is pretty accurate on the way he does it. So the way he does it is like he calls the bank. He goes, hey, I have 10. He pretty much goes like, I have 10 million shares of Amazon, right? And I'm like, I can pretty much put it to the side and be like, I'm gonna botch my explanation of this, but it's pretty much like you tell the bank, I am going to borrow money from you. I am going to borrow money
Oh,
from
and you put the stocks as
collateral.
yeah.
And so you put it on the side as collateral. You'd be like, hey, I have 10 million stocks of Amazon. Put it on the side as collateral, and you give me money to use. That's how he gets it. And all the money that he gets is not taxed.
Really?
Like, that's what's crazy. None of the money, because it's all borrowed money. So
Yeah.
technically he has to pay it back, right?
yeah.
But, like, you just redo that over and over again because you have so much of it.
And in
At that point, you do that till you die, and so like you're pretty much in debt all the way up to the point where you die, and then the collateral, which is the stocks. I'm not sure what happens to them. I
get
don't think it
dissipated
falls.
some other where. Yeah.
Somehow it gets
No,
diluted
they get
or
passed
whatever.
on. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and so-
moving numbers
yeah.
around in this invisible.
Yeah, and
space.
so like that's how they get their money tax free every single fucking time.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And there's like so many little rules. Like in New York, it's called like Billionaires Row or something. Have you heard about that?
I do. Yeah.
They're-
Yeah.
And with those buildings, like the builders of those paid almost no taxes, or like residents in there. It was either residents in there over a year or like the sale of the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
The like $40 million apartment paid like $127 in taxes, but the $100,000 house paid like $4,000 in taxes.
Yeah. It's
And-
insane. It's all because of the fact that there's no one living in those places, in those ginormous
And one of like the tax things was like, oh, if your company offers, or if that building offers low income housing, you get a big break.
Yeah.
So these like buildings will build a building in a completely different part of town that's low income housing, but
Yeah.
it's not part of the same building, but somehow on the back end as the business structure
Exactly.
they are.
And so you can write it off as like, I just bought a $50 million apartment complex, or I'm building a $50 million building apartment complex. This place is going to bring in this much revenue. I need to borrow this much money.
Yeah.
And then you pretty much put it off as collateral, and then that's all tax-free money
Yeah.
that you could just use for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
just say it's just obviously there's so many tax loops, and you're always trying to like find a way to make sure you're not paying. You're trying to minimize the amount you want to give to the government.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, definitely.
Which makes sense. you
Which,
know?
yeah, it does make sense.
You don't want like the way like dude, I get taxed so much in DC.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
get taxed
just like
so
income tax, you mean?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I get the city tax, and then I get the state tax, and then oh my god, dude, it's just
Dude, it's fucked.
my
yeah.
whole like
and if
half
you
my
put some
salary is
stuff into a
gone.
401k, like even though
Yeah.
that money is there later, it feels like
No, that
less
shit's like
money.
even at the end of it,
benefits.
like it's so stupid. Like
Yeah.
the health, like you got to cover your health insurance.
Yeah.
all those little things add up, and it's like, fuck. Like I think half my salary is gone.
That's what I was.
It's like
I
45%,
I
I
agree.
think,
It
yeah.
my between benefits 401k, which again the 401k money isn't like disappearing. It's
No,
still my
it's-
money,
yeah.
but
It's not cash in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Between the taxes or health benefits, taxes, 401k. Yeah, same. My income goes down. What percentage? Close to half.
Yeah. It
goes
brutal.
down like 46%.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
brutal. It's brutal. What do you have your 401k in?
Fidelity.
Fidelity?
Yeah.
Is that what Boeing provided?
Yeah.
Did they do the matching? Do you do the matching?
Yeah,
funds too?
they match 10%, which is pretty good. Yeah.
They matched 10%.
Yeah. What do you guys?
What?
Yeah.
Dude, they matched me like 4.5.
Really? Yeah.
What?
Boeing matches 10%. Yeah. Boeing does have really good
So
benefits.
you're
like that.
saying
and
if
we have
you
off
put-
every year between Christmas Eve and New Year's.
What
Yeah.
the
And then,
fuck?
yeah, it's like a little.
So
winter
wait,
break.
you're saying you're saying that's no, I can't.
If I put
So you put
$1,000
it-
in their paycheck, I get 2,000 in their per paycheck. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
So you're saying you put in 10%.
Or no, not
10%.
2,000. That was
You get
that
like
was terrible math.
you
That was
get
terrible.
you get 10% of your
Or,
salary.
yeah. No,
you
that
put
was
in
that was
10
correct math. Yeah.
Yeah, you put in 10% of your salary,
Yeah.
saying that it's 1,000.
They match
And they'll
100%
match- they'll
up to
match
10%
up to
of your
10%
salary.
of your salary.
Yeah, that's what I was meant to say.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, so they do have good 401k benefits for sure.
And they're $60 billion in debt.
And they're $60 billion in debt. But they can't get rid of that because then so many people would leave. Like
yeah, 100%.
there are certain things they'll get rid of, and that's not one of them.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no. If they get rid of that, you're like that company's. You
Yeah.
know that company's going under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people. There's so many people definitely that just stay. I've heard so many people be like, yeah, I would leave, but 401k.
Yeah, the 401k is just too good.
Yeah, exactly. But
Holy shit.
yeah, that's crazy. But where did that conversation all start?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. We were talking about how like half your salary is gone
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
of
yeah,
taxes
yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
You know what else is crazy too?
Oh.
Like the billionaires have all these little loopholes where they don't need to pay taxes.
Yeah.
And we both agree that it's the system that's flawed. You don't necessarily blame the billionaires because
No,
if
'cause
you had the money to do it,
it's what it is.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
And the laws should be different so that they aren't able to do that.
Yeah.
But think about this. The people who are writing the laws
Also
need the money
benefit-
of those billionaires so
benefit
they
from it,
get
yeah.
money from the billionaires for their
So
elections or
it's-
for their
yeah.
campaigns. And then when it comes time to write the tax codes, they're not going to fuck over their friends when they need their money in 2 years if they're a representative, in 6 years if they're
It's true. It's true.
senator. God forbid they want to run for president. They're
Yeah.
going to need a lot of money. That means they're
It's
going to need
true.
to do a lot
It's
of
true.
favors. So they
Yeah.
fucking raise $500 million, close to $1 billion. Obama raised $1 billion for his
Yes,
campaign,
yeah.
and that people aren't just giving their money
That's
from the
like
good of their hearts.
What was it? That's the Democrat. Is it Soros, right?
Yeah, George Soros, yeah.
Soros like gave like a shit ton to him. Yeah.
George Soros is. Okay, do you know a lot about him?
I don't know enough. I know my friend. He worked at Citibank. He works at Citibank, and he worked at the. George Soros' son ran a fund, like a
Really?
hedge fund there or something like that.
Interesting.
And worked with them. And,
George
Yeah.
Soros. I'll give you a little rundown
Give me the
on him,
rundown.
like the 30-second spark notes. Basically, he was born in the 1930s,
Yeah.
and actually no, maybe not 19. Oh, I can't remember. I think he was like 11 or 12 during World War II,
Oh really?
and
Okay.
he like worked with the Nazis to kick people out of their homes. I think he was Jewish.
What, when he was 12?
Yeah, he was Jewish in
What?
Germany, and
Are you serious?
yeah, and worked with the Nazis, acting like he wasn't Jewish, to kick the fellow Jews out of their house. He's
No
talking about
way.
this in
Are
an
you serious?
interview much later in life, and he literally said,
He's
"Like,
admitted this too.
sometimes I fancy myself as a god," and he
I
literally
know
is
that
filthy
quote,
rich,
yeah.
and he donates a bunch of money. This is where it gets weird. He donates a bunch of money to extremely far left, radical left type politicians.
I thought he was.
Not even on a big scale.
Yeah.
He does on a big scale to all
Yeah.
sorts of much more moderate
Yeah.
Democratic people, but in small counties like district court elections and all throughout the country, he donates billions of dollars among all these very little races to get far left people in, which is weird. And he also
Doesn't he also
he
do
just
it for the
bought
far right, too?
200 radio stations. Isn't
What?
that crazy? He just bought 200 radio stations.
That's
That's
that's bizarre.
No, it's crazy. He is like he's a total
I don't know.
psychopath
Yeah,
billionaire
yeah.
type guy. You know what I mean? He's the type of guy. I've never met him, obviously. This is just what I've read online, but he's totally the type of guy that's like, I have money and I have the ability to make things change how I want in the world, and I'm gonna do that for whatever reason.
No,
for
I know
whatever
that,
his
yeah.
interests are that are 50 levels of thinking above
It's
this
not even-
conversation.
I don't even think it's
but-
like thinking. It's just more like his selfish desires.
Yeah,
You know, like
oh,
what he wants to
yeah.
profit. Either like he wants to make more money, or he's like, I don't know. I don't think people are that like complex. I just think that at the end of the day, they're very selfish. And
Yeah,
just,
they
like,
want
so-
power and
they
influence.
want power and influence. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, and he's totally the
DA's
type.
100%
Let's
one of
watch the. Grady, have you heard of George Soros? Oh wait, it says 2 viewers now. Oh, now it says 0. See, that's where it's weird. It says 0
Yes.
viewers, 0 in participants.
Yeah.
Which, when it says 2 viewers, you think, oh, participants, that's the only one streaming. But it said Ziad in here earlier.
Yeah.
so
Right.
Who knows? Yeah, let's watch this.
I'm curious.
George Soros video.
Because I'm like, the thing is like, I'm
I'm
so
actually gonna
curious
put
as
this
to
on the bottom. I feel like it'll be better on the bottom, and then we could just
So
make sure we
this-
keep
when-
the clips.
when the
above.
full screen comes up, it comes up around us. Like
Yeah,
that. Ah.
yeah. So yeah, exactly. So then I'll try to keep the actual video up in here. You know what I mean?
Right.
George Soros, I fancy myself a god. Video.
No, he's always been a weird. Like I don't really know what a type of person, because the thing is what I've heard is like he doesn't just do, like majority of he's known for the Democratic fundraising, right, and like the liberal fundraising, but he's also done it with the far, like for the right as well.
Has
Like,
he?
He's funded both sides.
Really?
Weirdly funded both sides. It's really weird.
You must just want influence in multiple ways. You know what I mean?
It's just anything that could help him, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Where? I don't even know if this isn't the interview I was picturing. The interview I was picturing was from a long time ago. But also, it wouldn't surprise me if somehow
It was that one.
it kept it off the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Somehow he got it off the internet for anyone to see.
Oh. Well, this.
Dude, this guy's so This guy's so. Have you seen? Do you know this?
Patrick Bet David?
Is that what his name is?
Yeah, you don't like him?
I don't like him.
Really?
I think he's kind of like a. I'm not sure if this is the same guy actually. He looks like the guy that I'm thinking about, but
What guy are you thinking of? Or like, what kind of stuff did you see?
I don't know.
I've seen it. I would think you would like him. He's a very smart businessman. He started an insurance company and sold it for $200 million.
I've heard him talking about like politics with other people and like talking about like I just heard him talking about politics.
Yeah.
and, like,
What kind of
garbage.
stuff did you hear him say?
I'm trying to remember. Like,
I don't know, dude.
did he somehow make it way for the internet to never see this interview?
I
ever
wouldn't
again?
be surprised.
Yeah.
Because it was an old interview. Maybe this is 1995, but this is 50 minutes. I know there would be a clip of it somewhere. You know what I mean? No, this isn't. I feel like he was on the, like he was facing left.
Yeah. It might have been that one. It might have been the one you were watching.
But that's 55 minutes. How are we gonna find that?
No, not that one. The original one you were looking
This
at. Might have
one?
been- yeah, it might have
I
been.
think that's too recently though.
100.
This one was from a while ago, like the 80s or 90s.
Maybe. Oh,
like
really?
you
It
could
was-
tell by the camera
Oh,
it was
really?
like
It was that long.
an
ago.
old one. Yeah.
Crazy. Oh yeah, but all I was saying is before he was like talking with other. Is it this guy? I need to hear
That's
his voice.
Patrick Bet David. Yeah.
I need to hear his voice to get to know.
Yeah. The fuck. Oh wait, it's because this is. What the fuck? Is this website muted or this tab or
I think
something?
the website might be muted. It's TikTok, right? Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Oh, there we go.
That was weird.
That's weird.
You know, in one of the interviews he gave to LA Times, he says,
Oh yeah, it is this guy.
I see myself with being a god. If you type in George Soros, LA Times God,
Let's try that.
disturbing interview to read about this guy. A lot of people are very skeptical about him, right? How many people have you heard say, I've always fancied myself with being a god? But what's great about where I'm at right now is it's no longer a dream. It's a reality.
Yeah, it is that
It was
guy.
LA Times.
I don't know. I don't like that guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I like him.
don't
I
know.
feel like he's straightforward with what he thinks and believes. Also, I've heard about this from him. Have you heard of the Invention Secrecy Act? There's an act or a law where business patents that threaten national or economic stability
I think I've
cannot be
heard of this.
released. And there's
Yeah.
over 6,000 patents of ideas that can't be released because it would make the economy unstable. Makes you think about, like you heard about that guy that invented a car that ran on water and he just kind of
died.
mysteriously died.
Yeah.
Like a patent like that, all these huge oil companies are so interlocked with the government. They wouldn't want that coming along because that would threaten economic stability. So what are these 6,000 patents in
You
there?
see the one where the guy was like talking about like the one in Antarctica or something, like there was like a hydrogen power source in
A
Antarctica.
direct energy weapon.
Yeah.
Those things, I don't know what goes down in Antarctica, but directed energy weapons are a thing. There was one, I'll pull up that video next, where they were testing it on people, like at some location where this fake situation would be like, it's around a military base or whatever, and they're trying to stop people from coming in. But they shoot like some sort of microwave that's not harmful unless it's in like crazy long exposures. But it makes you feel like you're burning, like you're on fire.
Oh,
and it
wow.
stops you. And they have videos of it's like 20, maybe even like 50 people like all walking up, and they get to the point, and then they're like, and they all
Right.
run away. It's
That's
crazy.
so
Yeah.
insane.
Let's try to find that now. Or should we keep looking for the George Soros? We get the gist of the George
Yeah, we get the
Soros
gist
thing.
of it, yeah.
What would it be called? Directed energy weapon, hot firewall, microwaves. I don't fucking. There was a name for the system.
Definitely not gonna come up.
Fuck, there was a name for the system. Something defense system.
So this exists for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
Yeah.
like a military video. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like displaying the capabilities of this.
Mm.
What was it? It had like a specific name though. Defense system directed energy. Directed energy. There's so many directed energy weapons are such like a big thing. Like it's gonna catch so many words. You know what I mean? Repels people. Oh, this is it.
I'll experience it at some point.
Oh,
It's
come on.
so important to me that I've actually
Let me make sure my
learned
screen's
how to use
sharing.
therapy. In fact, with the help of their help, I learned certain tactics and strategies.
I'm
to
honestly gonna
create
make this smaller.
for myself. It can be really difficult to set deliberate boundaries at work, with your friends, your family, and especially with yourself.
Alrighty.
It's a skill that only gets harder and harder to learn as you
Wait, did other people chat in that thing?
Oh, did they?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Maybe. Oh shit! Yeah, a bunch of chats. Good to see Nate on here. Hell yeah, it is. Gonna be home for like 3 days. Oh, this month. No Thanksgiving, November 16th to 18th. Okay, fuck yeah. Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What's triggering that trip coming home? Yeah, I know that George guy. We got 2 viewers. Hey, hell yeah. Yeah, George Soros, crazy. Hell yeah. Glad you're coming home. Sorry we just saw these comments. You probably said that a while ago.
Yeah,
We were, talking about
we
that.
were
Sorry
just
about that.
yapping.
Yeah, we were just yapping.
Oh wait, and we were looking stuff up, so maybe.
Yeah, I know.
But Grady, watch this video. If you're like actively listening to this, watch this video. It's crazy.
A wave of extreme heat that comes from nowhere. It's one of the U.S. military's newest non-lethal weapons, an electromagnetic beam that emits an odorless, invisible, and silent blast of heat.
It felt like opening up an oven door, almost mixed with a sting from about my sternum to my neck. So like, you started really feeling it on my neck before I had to kind of instinctually jump out of the way.
This weapon, under development for 15 years, has yet to be used in the field. The technology has attracted safety concerns, though the U.S. military says the rays do not penetrate the skin and pose no health risks.
If an operator is squeezing the trigger and there's a lot going on and he inadvertently keeps squeezing the trigger, there's an automatic shut off for 3 seconds.
Out of 11,000 exposures on people, only 2 minor injuries have been reported. The Pentagon has not yet decided whether it will order the active denial system, whose powerful beams reach
Wow.
2,000 meters.
Picture like an invisible searchlight.
1,000 meters,
Right, you
that's
know what a
crazy.
searchlight looks like? So an invisible searchlight of radio waves going down range. So it's big.
1,000-yard golf hole.
When it starts at the end,
That's
it's
crazy.
the same size.
Eventually, the weapon could be put to a wide array of uses, such as thwarting hostile attacks, dispersing mobs, and reinforcing security. For now, it remains just a prototype.
That's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, they probably do use it. We just don't know if they use it or not.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and
they're
shit
using
that's
it.
crazier than that they don't show us.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
it's pretty insane.
So nuts.
So how?
I
how-
honestly
how-
do
how-
gotta.
How accurate is the stream?
What accurate the stream in
Yeah,
terms
like-
of what?
Like you could see like who's seeing it or who's watching it.
Well, that's what I was saying. Here it says we got 3 viewers now. Hey, who are the other viewers? Drop your name in the chat. We can't see who the viewers are. See, it says participants us, which would make you think participants doesn't mean viewers. But then earlier it said Z was a participant.
Yeah, that's
you know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pee real quick. So be right back.
Dude,
These
that's
mics
such a-
should work.
Dude, that's such a funny joke. It's so big.
Yeah, you like the be right back screen?
Yeah, it's really good.
Quick. Or you got pee too?
I got pizza, yeah. Take a beer too.
Be right back again. Gotta fill my water.
Hold on a little bit. Just unbutton my pants. Rebutton my pants. I gotta rebutton my pants.
Oh yeah.
Alright, how much? You say for like 30 minutes longer.
We don't have to keep going if you.
No,
we
no,
can
no,
stop whenever.
Yeah,
What
I'll-
time is it?
It's 11:30. I
Damn.
kind of need to get back
is
probably
late.
around like 11:45 ish.
That's fine. Yeah, we can end now. Yeah,
One soon.
yeah. This has been a good episode, I'd say. How long? Damn, 2.5 hours already. Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, we could do it longer than that.
Oh yeah.
When we get
for
like
sure.
a free weekend, we
Yeah,
should do
yeah,
like a
exactly.
full we could do like a full 4 hour.
Do it in the afternoon or something.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I think we could have a full on yapping session.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally
I
agree.
think there's so much shit we could talk about.
So much.
I
Yeah,
was-
aren't the podcasts fun? Like
No,
just
they're fun.
sit
Yeah.
and
They're relaxing.
talk and yeah.
It's kind of like I don't know. It's just like it's nice to know that. It's just
Yeah.
chilling with the
I feel like
guys.
it's just as primal as like as a human interaction
Yeah.
and a genuine conversation feels good,
Yeah,
and it's just like a dose of that. You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
A larger than normal dose of that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's good stuff. We'll get a lot of. Oh wait, yeah.
The ginormous
Thanks.
ass.
Be right back. We
soon.
are back. Cool. Back to Pat Pod. No longer an intermission. But yeah, these posters at first, when I had the idea, like, oh, I'm just going to scatter them on the walls, I was like, is this going to look stupid?
No, it looks
But
sick.
it turned out nice. I was nervous,
'Cause
though.
honestly, like I
it was
wish I
gonna
had
look
I wish I had something like this in my house, like something where you could just like a little like pretty
Man
much
cave type thing.
pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I am lucky with this for sure.
Dude, I wish we should play golf again later too when I get back home.
Yeah.
from DC.
Oh, I'm down.
Dude, I
Do you
want
know
to-
next time we're coming back?
Probably Thanksgiving too.
Okay.
So if
Oh, yeah.
Grady's still here, we could play Grady.
Yeah. When November 16th to 18th. Thanksgiving. Oh, that's like a week or two before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah. Shark McNugget says election live stream. What does that mean?
Shark McNugget. I don't know who Shark McNugget is. I think that's a new viewer. Unless, do I know you, Shark McNugget, and that's just your username? If
Shark
I don't
McNugget.
know you, welcome to the stream. Election live stream. That could be fun. Election night. Well, I guess you'll be gone Tuesday. Maybe I can find someone to do it with.
Actually, election live stream would be so
Dude,
much
yeah,
fun.
that would be fun.
Dude,
just keep up
see-
to date on a
yeah,
bunch of
with-
shit.
and watch the polls as it goes
Yeah,
up and down.
yeah.
Dude, that'd be so funny.
Totally. Have you ever heard of Breaking Points?
No, what
It's
is
this
that?
news channel. I think you should really check it out. It's on YouTube. They've no sponsors, so they're not biased by any sort of advertisers.
Yeah.
They're fully funded by subscribers, and they just tell the news from an objective standpoint and give their opinion on it, but also it's not swayed one way or another because it's always the main two people on the show are Crystal and Sagar.
Yeah.
Sagar is like this Republican guy. They're both like late 30s or 40s. Like this Republican guy, Crystal is a Democrat girl, so it's like
Yeah.
interesting mix of opinion.
Yeah, and they have
And-
like good
Yeah, and they've good debates. They'll
Yeah.
have like hour long debates where they're like getting heated at each other, but then they move on and it's on to the next piece of
Right.
news, and they're like very
Yeah.
good civil arguments.
Oh, it's Andrew Best.
Oh, what
Yo,
up?
Andrew, what's up? Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
funny.
What's up? But yeah, and then there's like other hosts. So they'll do shows like pretty much every day, but then like 1 or 2, maybe 3 days a week, there's another set of hosts, and it's a Republican girl and a Democrat guy, and it's just like very good dynamics. And they put out like, I'll pull up their channel. They put out like
Dude, have you
So-
ever heard of you know what that reminds me of? Have you ever heard of Crossfire?
Crossfire. No, I
It was
haven't.
it was a CNN we'll look at this first, but yeah, and I'll tell you what Crossfire is like.
I'm just trying to share my screen on there. Come on. Nice. There we go. Fuck. Screen share.
Andrew. Yeah, I hope everything's good, dude. That's crazy. Andrew Best is a name I've not heard in a
Yeah.
long time.
I wonder how he found the account.
Yeah, I know. Happy you did.
Yeah, same. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. But yeah, they do shows pretty much every day, and it's a podcast. They have like a whole like hour and a half, 2 hour podcast. But yeah, they basically just go through the news each day. I mean, we could watch whatever of them, but
I'll click on. Yeah, let's just.
'Cause you work
Kamala
hard,
massive pitch. Okay, so this was her
Kamala
like.
Harris will make big corporations pay.
I mean, obviously one of her final campaign speeches. All right, come on, let's skip these ads. Okay, so this is the secondary two. Fuck, I can't remember her name right now. Ryan and whatever. She's the Republican girl. He's the Democrat guy.
Okay.
And then the main two. I know they were talking in this video. Yeah, that. Oh, this was on Halloween. They were in costumes. Weird first one. See, yeah, that's them too, and they have like a lot of good guests on. But yeah, very good news. What was the one?
Seems good.
Yeah, you should check it out.
Yeah, it seems good. I'll listen. It does remind me of Crossfire though. Have you
Crossfire.
ever? Yeah, so Crossfire's an old CNN released. No, you gotta look Crossfire CNN.
Okay.
And
Yes,
do you know Jon Stewart?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like Jon Stewart?
Jon Stewart, he's the guy who does the Monday or the
the
Daily
Daily
Show.
Show, yeah.
Yeah, and now he only does it like once a week on Mondays. Yeah.
Do you like him?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's hilarious. So he
Was
did
this
it-
him?
So, Crossfire. Look up Crossfire with what's his name? With the guy
Jon
that
Stewart.
with Jon Stewart. Yeah.
He's witty. Damn, he looks young there.
This is a long. So they canceled this because of Jon Stewart.
Really?
So after this, Crossfire pretty much went under like they were really popular at some point, and it was with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
And
Well, and they would debate ideas.
Yeah, debate ideas and whatever. But then Jon Stewart, it was under a lot of controversy because pretty much Jon Stewart does a great just like discussion on it. So it's like I really enjoy. I thought it was one of the funniest. You should watch. Yeah, we should
Yeah.
watch it. We should watch it. It's
Which one? This
Just do
throwback
just-
Jon Stewart on.
just do the one that's the least amount of time.
This one's 5 minutes.
All right,
top one's 20.
never mind.
This one's 2 minutes.
But
this so
yeah,
how
but
it
it got
got
canceled. I guess
Jon
that
Stewart
that one works. Jon Stewart on Crossfire.
This one's 14 minutes. We can just fast
We could just
forward.
we'll
to
just
it.
fast forward to the important bits.
Meanwhile, the president's challenger was also in New York, also
this is
facing
exactly
some
what
difficult buses.
The Daily Show.
Yeah.
Stay in shape.
So this is
Say something nice about John Kerry right now,
I like John. I care about John Kerry.
and something about President Bush.
He'll be unemployed soon.
I found that.
I made the effort anyway.
No, actually, I knew Bush in Texas a little bit, and the truth is, he's actually a great guy. He's not a very good president. He's actually a very good person. I don't think you should have to hate to oppose somebody, but it makes it easier.
Why do you argue? The two of you,
So Jon Stewart's the host of this show.
no.
Crossfire. Oh, it
Jon
seems like
Stewart
he's
came-
like the moderator.
No.
Is he the moderator in this instance?
So
it
no.
seems like?
Jon Stewart came on as a guest, and so pretty much he was like, he's pretty much criticizing the show because it's like all you're doing is just inciting like, division
Yeah.
and this is just drama. You guys aren't talking about anything substantial. That's pretty
Yeah.
much what he's trying to
There's
explain.
like
to the both of
clickbaity
them.
arguments.
Yeah, just clickbaity arguments, and you guys, both sides, like Democrat and Republican, you just aren't bringing up points that are important to the American people. You're
Yeah.
just saying things to piss people off.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much. And so like he's just pretty much calling out the entire like both sides of the
Yeah.
and they're like this is and then literally a week after this aired, they canceled the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, the whole thing is a crazy game, and we're pawns in that game.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
public opinion.
Yeah.
We're like, we have little influence over the government. I think. You know what I mean?
I like that it immediately goes to Between Two Ferns too. Like
Dude, Between Two Ferns
might
is
be the
hilarious.
funniest. Might be one of the funniest video. Like
Dude, Between Two Ferns is fucking
I love
so
Between
funny.
Two Ferns.
I wish they did more of that. They're
Oh my
like
God,
done
yeah.
making episodes now.
No, 'cause
I'm
Zach-
right. A bunch of the episodes were like 10 years old.
Yeah, because
right?
Zach Galifianakis just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
He's just like I think he pretty much like he's like retired out of the entertainment
everything, yeah.
industry. So he's just like he just doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, that was a good show though.
Dude, I loved.
There's
love
not
Between
that
Two
many
Ferns.
of them. Like I think
No,
I've watched
no.
a lot of them. And there's really
No, I feel like it's just because it's tough to get.
they would be
Like,
big
they're-
guests too.
yeah.
They were never like small guests.
No, the production is insane too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I think about. Like, how can you get to like that level of production? You know?
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, and it's crazy that because that level of production is very low for the stuff he's used to
Oh,
being
yeah.
in, like compared to movies like The
Yeah.
Hangover. Like
But think
that
about
level
how-
of production is insane.
And then I think about like numerically, like how much money he's making off of it too, because it's like
yeah,
think about the number of views each one gets. Like you're talking about each guest that's coming in, you're
yeah,
paying for
having
the guest.
Obama as a guest.
Yeah, and having those guests come in and then just doing those bits, it's just like, it's like a whole production. Like just seeing,
Yeah.
like I just like I find the process interesting. You know
Yeah,
what I mean, like
totally.
just finding that, like how they go about creating that type of episode, or how they go about creating that type of experience for like even the guest or like the viewers is like, it's a lot of effort and work.
Oh,
that
definitely.
goes unseen.
It's a lot of He definitely thinks a lot about like what type of stuff am I
Yeah.
gonna ask them? How are we gonna like
Yeah.
get them? Not get them in like a malicious way, but like
Yeah, I
he
know,
would
like,
always
yeah,
do
make
like a
it funny,
little
yeah.
pranky. How can I set him up for this joke?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it kind of it's funny because it's like you see like the bloopers too. Have you seen like the bloopers of?
I haven't seen much of the bloopers.
Really, dude,
Ma-
you have
are-
to see the. Between
Are they
Two
on
Ferns.
like the main channel?
No. I think
Okay.
they're on like. It's on
They-
YouTube.
they- yeah,
it's
yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube. Like you see the Between
Interesting.
Two Ferns bloopers. They're so funny.
I should watch them.
Yeah, but no, I say that because it's like you kind of see like the type of work like you do too, like all this extra effort, like all the little effort.
Oh
you see
yeah,
too.
yeah, and this
And
is
it's like
extremely low production.
Yeah, and it's so important. Like I feel
Yeah.
like people like forget how much, if you have a passion for something, or if you want to like really do something you really enjoy, like you miss all the little things that they do for it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Like nothing just comes out of nowhere.
No,
like,
exactly.
A lot of work goes into everything that's around us.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that desk or this table or the
Yeah.
computer, like anything. So much work into getting
Dude,
that
I
to the
know.
point where it is.
And I think about that a lot, and so I'm like, I that's why like my dream obviously is to be like, fuck, like I want to do something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Where every single bit of effort won't be something that I feel like is wasted.
Yeah,
Or
something
it's like a menial task.
Yeah, meaningless. That's
Yeah.
exactly how I feel at my work now. It's like
Yeah.
every little thing is just a little medial thing that's
Yeah.
gonna get done whether I'm here or not. Like
Yeah.
there's no incentive. I could go in and jerk around for 6 hours and only work 3 hours, or go in and work my ass off for 9 hours and I get paid the same either way. Not that I go in and jerk around for 6 hours,
Yeah.
but there's no incentive to like go above and beyond, especially when you know the shit that like the process of everything is so thick and so established already.
Yeah.
It's not like
That's what I'm saying.
but if you start something from scratch, like, oh, I have this idea, I can go
yeah.
implement that, and then all the little things that are medial tasks along the way, you want to do them, and you want to do them as best you can and as fast as you can and as many of them as you can.
Oh yeah.
Because then it
absolutely.
gets you closer to that goal.
Yeah. That's,
As opposed to just being handed, okay, do this thing. All right, I'm done this thing. Okay, here's another thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, doing something you love. I think that's
Yeah.
that's everyone's main goal.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's tough to achieve. It's like a grander goal, and obviously, like you can't really expect to have that, but it's something to hope for. I don't know.
That's the
Kinda.
thing. You can't expect to have it, but it's worth working to get.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And trying your best for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everything in life is like, as long as you try your best, like
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get like what you're at the end of the day. just
Yeah,
knowing that you tried your best.
If you're
is important.
genuinely trying your hardest at something, then you're gonna get something out of it either way.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of if it goes to plan or not.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's a good way to end it.
I agree. It's a good ending note. All right. It says we still got one viewer.
But it definitely won't show up in
Let's see,
participants.
not in participants. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's Andrew or Grady, but either way, thank you for stopping in. This has been a fun pod.
Absolutely.
Should definitely do it again sometime.
I'll come when I come back from DC.
Yeah,
We'll do
fuck
another
yeah.
one.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we'll do one where it's like, dude, I honestly like, what you're saying about the one-on-one, it's true.
Yeah,
And so like I kind of like just doing.
it's
just
yeah,
like-
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and with a third person, it's like one, the mic stand wouldn't work out great, so I'd have to take a mic off one of them to just pass back and forth.
Or you would have to have like it in the center between. the
Yeah,
two of you,
yeah,
so
how
that-
it, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like it's easy for two people to get stuck into something, then the third person's on their phone and then they jump back in.
Yeah,
It's just not as like smooth flowing of a
Yeah,
conversation.
Right. That's why I like the Joe Rogan podcast a lot. I think it's
I like.
I
Joe
enjoy.
Rogan.
I
Yeah.
actually enjoy watching Joe Rogan.
Dude, I've
podcast
listened
a
to
lot.
so much fucking Joe Rogan. I got into it when I was in like a sophomore, junior in high school.
Me too. Yeah.
I never got off that train.
Yeah. He's always been so good at it.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
one-on-ones are so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Great guest on there too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Alrighty, well, thanks for tuning in, whoever the one viewer
Andrew
is.
Best. It's Andrew. Like he says, adios, gentlemen.
Adios, man.
See you, Andrew.